Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is DJ Torch. Welcome, everybody. We're about to get this show started real soon. In fact, we're about to get it started now. So hurry up and file in. I got a little warm up for you with Kendra here, and then we're going to get into the show tonight. We have a lot going on. We have Cam Newton in the house versus, Kendra versus Cynthia G versus Bandits versus Red Pillars, which could be defined as bandits. Yeah. Anyway, I like to thank everybody to the show. You may or may not have gotten a notification because, notifications have been kind of weird. But we're gonna get right into it, and when everybody files in and gets here, we'll turn up the show one more time. Here we go.
I can't see your face. I can't. Hello?
This is Kendra G show, Kendra G singles. She got a nice little app going on, so you want to check that out. But here's a rapper, singer, and a podcaster, producer. And basically, he wants a girl that's not for everybody, even though, quite honestly, I think we can all agree that in the rap industry, that's not what these rappers look for. They usually look for a woman that is for everybody. Here we go, though. Let's break it down. Let's get down to the get down. Here we go.
Wipe your camera, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Where you calling us?
It's funny to me because I remember our last live stream. We had we did a Kendra G interview and was with a young lady. She was only like 23, 24. Her background was on point. Wisdom was good seeing you. Her background was on point. The lighting was perfect and everything. Here's a man that is about 10 years older than that young lady. And he's all messy. He's all blurry and stuff. Can't get the camera right. Can't get the lighting right. And you'll see how he looks in a minute here. Here we go.
From, sir?
Calling you from Chicago.
Is this your first time here? We can't see you.
It's
Okay.
actually my second. Can y'all see me now?
It's your second time. You talked to me before or Trev?
I think I talked to you before.
How did it go?
That's me. Kendra don't even remember him. She don't remember. It's gonna go bad if she didn't even remember him. Here we go.
Pretty smooth. I got like over 100 messages before.
But y'all, Kendra, look, Kendra's cousins, come on now. Y'all gave this dude this. Here you could tell it's Dusty. He's a dozen times Dusty. You gave him your time. 100 of you. Excuse me. That's crazy to me. Here we go.
But I ended up losing my my last Instagram because it got hacked.
Yeah, right. So they're saying he's saying he lost his Instagram because it got hacked. Let's keep it going.
Okay, you got to be inside the Kendra G Singles dating app, but we need light, sir.
I'm on the Kendra G dating app.
Then nigga, what's the problem, man? If you were on the Kendra G dating app, why were you even on? How does that have anything to do with with Instagram?
Okay. Let me just delete this. I was trying to do I'm going to YouTube next, so I just got to start a new broadcast. All right. Okay, this the best light we got, sir?
Yes, ma'am, at the moment.
You got a bathroom?
Say it again.
Do you have a bathroom?
Oh, do I? 1 second.
I thought his lighting was okay for a minute.
Light in the bathroom.
Yeah, the light in the bathroom is always the best.
No, he's still Dusty even in the bathroom, y'all.
Okay. What's your name again?
My name is Phil. I'm a singer and producer. I actually met you before at the WGCI a long time ago, maybe back in 2023.
Okay, I quit that year. Who did you come to the radio station with?
Well, I was working for iHeartRadio as a field technician.
Okay. And we met at the station.
Yes, ma'am. It was a group of us, but you probably wouldn't remember.
Okay. Well, something about
Does he have tassels? Is he wearing tassels? Is he wearing tassels? Does he have I mean, look, you can wear whatever you want, really, I guess what I'm saying is this. Fellas, do not ever, ever, ever go at a woman about what she's wearing, whether she's wearing a wig or a weave or her own hair or cornrows. Do not even talk about it and not say nothing about this dude right here.
about you seemed familiar when you came on. That's why I asked, have you been here before?
He's got tassels on his head. Welcome, Immortal Sigma.
Yes, I've definitely been here before.
Okay, do me a favor. It must be ADHD night. I need you to sit still for me. Stay in one spot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How old are you, Phil?
I'm 36.
Okay, so you said you're a singer?
Yes.
You want to give us 20 seconds?
Let's see.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I won't say. I know who it is though, but I won't say. Okay, I won't say it. I'll keep you on the end. Here we go.
Take you down. I really wanna take you down. Show you what I'm about. Just a little something. I'm gonna give you some more.
Yeah, what do y'all think of the singing? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think he's good? Oh, dang. They got you. They got you, King. Okay. How about you should have just turned King Sigma, you should have just changed your name to Kang Sigma. Boo. Boo. You just call yourself Kang Sigma. I mean, then you fit right in. You could, you know what I mean? Yeah, them trolls. Hey, I know about them damn trolls. Here we go.
No, we good. Phil, 36, singer, producer. You have any kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids.
2 kids. How old are your 2 kids?
My oldest daughter, she is 12, and my son, he is 10.
Okay, both by the same woman?
Yes.
Okay, you ever been married?
No, I would like to get there.
Why didn't you marry your child's mom?
Oh my God. I don't want to put on blast, but.
Okay, don't say anything you don't want her to get mad about.
I respect him for it. It really is only his business. But watch this, y'all.
I'll roll line.
She was, I'm not going to put on blast, but it just didn't work out. I'm going to just say that.
Okay.
Deontay in the house.
I want to say this, and I think sometimes people forget when you talk about your baby mama or your baby daddy, they're going to see this video and they might get upset and your kids might get upset. So only say the things that you would not mind saying to them, their face in front of the world. But we'll move forward.
Hey.
So Phil, you're in Chicago. What part of Chicago?
Now listen close because his delivery is subtle. He seems like he would be a nice dude, but watch where he starts to slip up.
Side, west side, north side?
Southeast side.
We don't say no southeast side.
Well, south side. South side, Inglewood.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Libra.
A Libra. All right, let's do it. Phil, 36, Libra, singer, producer in Chicago. Dad,
I wonder what his rapping, sing, producing name is. Maybe call himself Tassels. You know what I mean? Tassels. You could upgrade it. You don't have to say tassels because that might be too feminine for him. But call him call them Mac Tazzles or something like that. You know what I mean?
2 kids by the same
Tazzles.
woman, never married. What kind of
Never
woman you
married.
looking for, Phil?
I'm looking for a honest woman, a loyal woman, someone that is down to earth and likes to have fun, someone that can control their attitude, a woman that's not a drunk, because I deal with a lot of drunk women.
So basically, this is where he starts to unravel. Because if you deal with a lot of drunk women, more than likely you met them at the same place or around the same time. I mean, nobody has that bad of luck. So if he's meeting a lot of drunk women, maybe he's drunk too. Birds of a feather flock together. Here we go. Here we go. Tev in the house.
And I deal with a lot of how can I say this? Women that like to mess with a bunch of different guys at once.
So he deals with a lot of women that he claims are alcoholics. And then he deals with a lot of women that like to mess around with a lot of different men. But what he is not getting out of this whole experience he's having is there's one common denominator. What is the common denominator? Damn, I sound better than him. I'd sound way better than him. Okay, and he's a rapper singer. The common denominator is himself. Because either that's his taste in women. No, that's pretty much what it is. That's his taste in women. Let's not overanalyze anything. Because if he's meeting a lot of women that are what he claims, I'm not saying these women are, because I've never met these women. What he claims are alcoholics. And what he claims are the women that sleep around, maybe he's an alcoholic and maybe he sleeps around. Because otherwise, why would you be around? Why would you? It sounds like to me this is his main bread and butter that he deals with when it comes to dating. It's not like he says, yeah, every once in a while I run across, a woman who might have one too many, or whether it be men or whether it be drinks. No, this is where he lives. And notice how he's not even thinking about looking in the mirror and seeing where the real problem is. Because there are plenty of women out there, especially that black men, we are outnumbered greatly by about 2 million. There are plenty of options of women out there that do not drink too much or do not play around too much. Plenty. I think he's got a little illness called Hippocrates. Here we go.
So I don't want that.
Want a lady that could be monogamous.
Yeah, lady.
Yeah, you will find out a lot of men in the red pill community are ultimate hypocrites. They really are. They will sleep around with a slew of women, but if you call them a 304, they'll want to, they'll want to have beef. But if a woman did the same thing they did, half as much, they'd call that woman a 304. Hypocrites.
Back, just like me, because I'm laid back.
Okay, stop moving, Phil. Don't forget. What's your deal breakers?
My deal breaker is someone that's still chasing their ex. I've the last 3 females I dated, they were still chasing.
So here's a funny thing. So he obviously knows that these women, their heart is still with their ex, right? this is gonna get deep. This gonna get deep. So let's calm this down for a minute. Let me calm down for a minute. So he said the last three. And it's all bad for him. So number one, they told him, these women obviously told him they still have feelings for their ex. Number two, he's not as good as these women's exes were. In other words, if they still thinking about their ex, he sure as hell didn't give them any amnesia. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's times like when a woman will think about her ex no matter what. You could be Klay Thompson. They're still thinking about their ex. I married Klay Thompson, by the way. And you know who he married, by the way. So anyway, that. But do you see his pattern here? He's named alcoholic women, women that play around too much. That's what he's saying, not me, him. And now he says women that think about they past boyfriends. Whose fault is that? That's his pattern. That's his pattern. Let me keep it going.
Uh-oh. We got frozen. I don't know if this Instagram or him. Because Instagram be doing me dirty. This is why we're always live inside the Kendra G Singles dating app. Because social media be so damn unreliable, child. I don't know. He frozen. I don't know if he's frozen or if
yeah, but that's pretty much it. If you want to see the rest, you got to go over to Kendra's show. But basically, yeah. So he should have chose better. If everything he said was absolutely true, which I don't know if it is, he should have chose better. He should have chose, right, fellas? He should have chose better, right? Right? It's not the women's fault. He should have chose better. He's the one. I mean, how many times I don't even really, quite honestly, I don't think he's telling the truth at all. I really don't. But if he was, the best case scenario and the best thing you can say about him is that he should have chose better. That's the best you can say. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
I knew Ike more. I knew Ike. I knew him.
This is that fool angry man. That fool angry man. Sigma, you still in the house? Where you at? Where you at, Sigma? I got your boy on the screen. I got your dusty dude on the screen, Sigma. Where you at? There you are. Now. Watch me dig into this fool, Sigma. And I'm telling you, you're gonna get mad. Now, if you just get so mad that you need to defend your man, just tell me to drop the link and we could talk about your boy. But watch what your fool did this time. Watch what he's. Yeah, I'm sure you are, Ma. You gonna be mad. You're gonna be running back to him when I get done with this. Watch, listen to this.
Was he a bad guy or a good guy? He was a lovely human being. Yeah. Just he was had a bad temper. He was a victim, of himself.
Okay, so basically, it's like this. Angry Man is defending Ike Turner, whose music history is only overshadowed because he was a great artist by being the pillar of DV. So that makes me think a little certain thing about Angry Man. Maybe he be doing this too. Maybe he be doing this too to women. Because he's defending the pillar of DV, Ike Turner. When people think of Ike, they think of right hand crosses, hair pulling. Let's listen. Let's find out.
And of what we do for a living, and of drugs and stuff like that.
This is the statement that has everybody.
So basically what Angry Man is doing, and let me tell you something, let me break it down deep. I am a huge Chaka Khan fan. Huge. But she's out of her mind to say that Ike Turner is a nice, kind man. Maybe to her at the little moment she saw him, but I'm going to show you right now how wrong Angry Man is and how wrong one of my favorite artists, Chaka Khan, is. Number one, she had an issue with drug abuse, and I hope she got over that. So, but it tells me this from Angry Man. Angry Man, you heard the same damn thing I did, dude. You heard she had troubles with alcohol or whatever, blame it on alcohol. You can blame, but listen closely. Listen closely. Welcome, Koi. Listen closely. For him to endorse her as some sort of, what would you call it? For him to cite Chaka Khan as a way for modern, to talk against modern women is ridiculous. Because in all intensive purposes, Chaka Khan lived a modern woman's life. And I'm a fan of hers. Let's listen to what this idiot says now.
Up in arms, especially Mark Lamont Hill. The woman asked about Tina Turner. She said she knew of her, but she knew Ike more. And then she asked, what type of person was he? And she said he was a lovely human being.
Sorry, Chaka. I am sorry. I am so sorry, Chaka. But you ain't right. Let's let Chaka talk about it. Let's go over Chaka's relationships real quick, and then we'll dive deeper into what's going on with Ike Turner.
Chaka Khan, the queen of funk, has had a love life just as bold and soulful as her music.
Remember now, this movie stars thing, they show this person in the best light possible.
She married young, at just 17, to musician Hassan Khan. It was short-lived, but it marked the beginning of a journey through passion and heartache.
Okay, so she had a Kevin Samuels type relationship at first where, she got married, she got pregnant, she had a kid, and then dude bounced. Let's go to the next.
In 1976, she tied the knot again, this time with Richard Holland. The two welcomed a son, Damien, in 1979. But despite the love, the marriage hit rough patches and ended by 1980. Her third known marriage was to record producer Doug Rashid in 2000.
Wow, okay, that's not Doug Rashid right there, unless George Benson has a different name. That's George Benson right there.
2001, the same man behind hits like Gangsta's Paradise. Though their relationship stayed mostly out of the spotlight, it's unclear when the two quietly parted ways. And let's not forget, Chaka's daughter Malini was born in 1973, but she's never revealed who the father is, a move that's kept fans intrigued for decades.
Okay, so nothing against Chaka Khan, nothing. But what we learned is that basically, and to her defense, I mean, she's a freaking superstar. How is a superstar going to live a non-modern woman's life? She just didn't. She is a music artist, and there was just too much banditry floating around her. So for Angry Man to say that Chaka Khan is the pillar, or try to lead us to believe that Chaka Khan is a pillar of conservative, beliefs, is a stretch.
Now in her 70s, Chaka Khan is reportedly single, focused on...
And she's single right now. And I read up more on Chaka Khan that not even Angry Man knew. Chaka Khan, has been single for 20 years. And she loves it that way. And good for her. Good for her, because what she probably found out is that bandits ain't worth it. They ain't. The marriage thing, she tried the marriage thing. Didn't work out for her. So obviously for her to make that, statement about Ike, well, let's keep it going.
Music, family, and living life on her own terms.
I didn't know that the man was an utter bastard.
I don't know if you can hear that. Can you guys hear that? I got to rewind that. Let me give it a little bit of a punch. This is an older video, but let me actually do this because I don't want to change the video too much. Okay, let me put it on there. Here we go. Listen close.
I didn't know that the man was an utter bastard.
So the commentator speaking to Tina Turner in this, because this was made a long time ago, said, I didn't know the guy was an utter...
I didn't know that the man was an utter bastard.
I didn't know that the man was an utter beastard. Here we go.
I hope he hears that, and I didn't say it. He had some problems.
Some problem?
Well, I must be.
And about Ike Turner, she says, yeah, he had some problems.
I was as civil as I possibly can about it. I don't want word to go back to Ike Turner saying that I said that he was this name that you just accused him of.
There's no one here, just us.
Oh, well, who's there?
His beatings were savage.
Yes. Not just for me, for everyone.
The man said this. The commentator said this to Tina Turner. His beatings were savage. And she, without a pause, said, yes.
Involved.
As a kid, I saw you on television, and I'm amazed to read in some of those performances with him, you had blood in your mouth when you were singing.
It was the first time I experienced it when I had a nose problem, and I didn't know I'd never had a broken nose before.
She just said, I didn't know I had a nose problem. I've never had a broken nose before. And that's what Angry Man supports. A man that will break a woman's nose. That's why I got second thoughts about your boy, Sigma. I wonder if he did. No, let me not even go there. Let me keep it cool. Let me keep it cool. But
it was crack there or something, and
from one of
course,
the beatings.
Yeah, this was one before a show and one of those things in the dressing room, and I don't know what to tell you. It became a way of life. It was on hold.
It became a way of life for her to get beatings, y'all. We're going somewhere with this.
As far as I can remember now, I had put everything on hold because it was just an existence of children being involved, deaths. Where is it to go? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Sadly, of course, there are thousands of women watching this program in that very situation.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
My advice is make up your mind and don't go back and deal with whatever you have to deal with to finish it, which is what I did. I was prepared to go through whatever I had to go through with Ike Turner, even if it was death, because I would never go back.
This life together. If everything Tina says about you is true, then you're a bad man.
Well, I would say this, maybe so, if it was true. But if that's what it took to make her what she is today, then I have no regrets. There's no scars on Tina. You can take a real close look at her. She said I broke her jawbone. If you ask the doctor.
Are you all hearing this? I know this. Are y'all hearing this?
She said I broke her jawbone. If you ask a doctor can tell you, if I broke her jaw, no way is she going on stage.
You admit that you have slapped Tina before, but why, Ike?
She would be walking around looking sad.
You got to listen to this. You got to listen to this excuse.
Looking sad with a lip drop, and I keep asking her, "And what is the matter with you? What's wrong?" And it's always nothing. And it would go on for a day or two till finally, why the don't you? And then this is where I would slap her or something. Then she would change her mood or attitude or something.
That's Ike Turner. That's Ike Turner, the man that Angry Man supports. That's Ike Turner, the man that Angry Man supports. Go to his channel. I'm actually going to endorse you to go to Angry Man's channel and watch his video on defending one of America's most notorious DV masters. Most notorious DV masters, Ike Turner. He is known more for DV than he is for his music. And he's a good musician. He's good. But he's known more for his backhand. For his backhand than he is for his music. That's how bad it was. Let's move on to Cam. Here we go.
People see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
of
just
this
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So
he's telling you right now that he's going to put babies in you and move on.
as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very...
I think it's 9 now, but let's subtract 2 because two were not his. So let's just say he had 5, now he has 7. He just had 2 kids, like back to back. He does this back to back thing with women, depending on how long he's with them for. Did you know that he had, well, no, you know something? I'm going to save that for later in the show. I'm going to save that later in the show. Let me go.
selectively active. Okay. So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, but you are proactively choosing to that and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence.
Oh boy, not from what I found online. We're gonna get, I'm not gonna say he's horrible, but amazing is a little bit of a stretch. Welcome, Miss Alto. It's good seeing you. Wisdom Ain't Cheap is here. Immortal's in here. Koi is here. Tev's here. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
And knowing you, but these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there.
Let me break something down to you. And I was in shock. Now, first of all, let me preface this by saying that Cam is was because he doesn't play anymore, one of my favorite football players. He really was. But did you know he has, of the 7 kids, guess how many? I want the chat to join in on this. The chat, I need you to join in on this. Of the 7 kids, I want everybody to guess, do not Google it either, how many kids he lives with. Of his 7 kids, how many live with him 24/7? Put that in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm gonna read Wisdom Ain't Cheap, who has a great channel, by the way. No, not to mention, in the Black community, our mothers and families are accustomed to men being ABs. Yep, because they won't stick together and rather than complain. Bars. Exactly. Come on, Sigma, put it in there. I know you're still here. I know you're still hurting over me roasting your friend, but come on now. I know you're hurt. I know you're hurt. There we go. Yeah. But how many kids do you think, Sigma, how many kids do you think your brethren has? Cam. Come on, I'm gonna wait. Come on, get to that get to that number. Get to that number. Come on. Get to that number. Come on. Hey, you're not going to tell me a number, are you? Sigma, you ain't going to tell me, are you? You're going to sidestep, huh? Sigma. Sigma. No, I'm not talking about AM. Yeah, AM has 2 or 3. And if I recall, you probably going to be shocked, but did you know that I know that AM ain't cool with his kids? Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? You didn't know I would know, huh? Yeah, I be around the internet, bro. I know what's up. I know he doesn't have the best relationship with them. No, I'm talking about Cam. How many kids do you think Cam has, Sigma? Sigma, come on. Kick it out. Kick it out, Sigma. Come on, hit that button. It's the top row of buttons where it goes 1 to 10 or 1 to 0. 2 or 3 living. Ladies and gentlemen, Tevin is correct. Cam Newton does not live with any of his kids. That includes his newborns. Let me make it clear. Kevin has 7 kids. He lives with none of them. 4 of them live in Maryland. They don't even live near him. The other ones, including his most recent children of 1 and I think 2, which he popped 2 babies in this other woman, don't even live with him. I'm not saying that makes him a bad father, but it's kind of weird that you have all these kids and none of them stay at home. None. According to the internet. Cam, if I am wrong, please talk to Google. Please talk to Google. Don't talk to me. Talk to Google. They told me that. Let me keep it going. Here we go.
Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish.
That's basically what he did, though. And he got mad at this woman. He got so mad at this woman here. Dr. Bryant, he literally talked smack about this woman for literally a year straight. He even got dusty ass, abusive Corey Holcomb to triangulate her. That's how these dudes roll.
Acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till
He was mad about doing that.
Dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be
Y'all
fearful.
know he ain't looking for no wife because he would have cleaned it up this last time, this third girlfriend he had, and who knows how many other women he's been with. He put a baby in her literally right after they started dating.
Fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely
Corey Holcomb is an idiot that's getting sued. That's what Sigma said. And you are correct. You know something, Sigma, every once in a while we do agree on something. We do agree. It's by he's getting sued by another idiot, in Anton Daniels, but he is getting sued.
unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing and
Don't worry about spoiling Corey Holcomb wrong. It's really Corey Hoecum, if you ask me. That's what he is.
Compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box.
Bars. And you know what happened? He did find another victim. This tape here is about 2 years old. And he just found another victim that gave him 2 children in 2 years. Why did I bring this up, though? I mean, why did I go all the way? Why did I go this far? I mean, you're going to have to watch the rest of the show. I just gave you a little taste. I got more on Cam. I got more on Cam going down. Football player, amazing, was great. I follow him all the way through the Patriots. I do still think he should be playing football. I don't know who for, but I still think he should be playing. But as far as being a good role model for other men and for building conventional families, nah. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
Most single, and we have the biggest women. Most overweight, most obese. Again, whether you want to use BMI or not, we can look with our 2 eyes. Y'all really got to stop playing with us on that. You think I want to say that? No, you think?
Yeah, I think you want to say that, young lady. The fact of the matter is that Black people, we are the most obese per se. If you want to go by what the non-Black man says, fine. Hey, let's use it as a battle cry. But she wants to say, well, I do. You think I want to say that? If she didn't want to say it, she wouldn't have said it. That's how I know she's red pillar. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
People are making it up. No, we can see it with our own eyes. It's like, well, Black women really aren't that big. No, yeah, you are. We have the most single women. We have the biggest women. I think they intersect. Ladies.
Black women are the most single women because of the men. It's that simple. Has nothing to do with anything else. It has a numerical value for it because Black women outnumber, Black men by 2 million. And most of the Black men are Kevin Samuels or Cam Newtons. Go figure, right?
You will not fix the single problem as a whole until you fix the body, attitude, and mindset problem. Today we're just focused.
So the funny part is this. I know plenty of heavy-set women that have been happily married for years. Just as many slim women. The weight has nothing to do with marriage at all. You would think it does if you're a red pill idiot like this situation. But believe it or not, in real life, come on, let's face it, y'all. You've seen heavy-set married women of every race, and they have no problem. So let's not even start that. Here we go.
Focusing on the body. But until you fix the body, attitude, and mindset problem, you're not going to fix the single problem. Okay? When you have all three of those things, body, attitude, and mindset, you're damn near a unicorn. Bam, results. Exactly. It's not complex, but a lot of women are making this very hard. I don't like that for you, ladies.
This is an evil woman right here, in my opinion. Because instead of telling women, oh, you know, we have this problem, if she really was concerned about it, she would be teaching fitness, wouldn't she? If she was really concerned, she would go ahead and go the next mile and go, okay, ladies, for anybody out there who wants to lose a little weight and keep healthy and live a longer life, follow me. She would use that. No, she wants to hurt women.
A lot of you making this too hard. All right. Black women are the most single, and we have the biggest women.
Yes, Black women might be the most single. Some of them.
Let me pause right here. I gotta let pretty Black Misha get her 2 cents in. Go get it, girl.
Might be overweight, but what about the ones that are not overweight and out of shape? So I know lots of Black women who are nice, kind, caring, in shape, good bodies. I guess I'm a motherfucking unicorn, huh? I don't feed them. I don't fuck them. I don't fight them. I don't date them. And these whores like this on my screen, I don't fool with them either. Unattractive Black women, these kind, you got to be careful of. This is one of the biggest pick-me's on the planet. And Blackistan, Black men shit on women who look like you. They skip over you. They don't even look at you. They don't even give you a second thought. You're not even on their menu. You're not even that tight. They would drag you for wearing glasses and braids and being funny looking. I bet you she's not married. I bet you she don't have a man. You got to be careful taking advice from these type of whores. Why don't they talk about the Kang stats? You do have some Black women that have an overweight problem, but guess what? You got a lot of white tea women. They're obese. Samoans, damn near all of them are obese. You can look that up for yourself. That is a fact. A lot of Samoan women are overweight. A lot of Latina women are overweight. Come here to LA. If I just walked around certain parts of LA and I just had my camera up, most of the Latina women you would see, they will all be overweight. We talking about some big backs. We talking about some big back refrigerator built type women, 3 and 4 and 5 kids. A lot of them are single baby mamas, but you don't see their women or their men talking about that. A lot of Native American women are overweight. You got a lot of Asian women that are overweight. Y'all see me do the videos. I've done the stats. So Black women might have an overweight problem, but guess what? This obesity thing just isn't tied to Black women. This shit is global. A lot of Black males are overweight. A lot of them are overweight so much that they have erectile dysfunction. They're suffering from diabetes, hypertension, and a bunch of other things. You know how?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me that the man who criticized women for being big the most, you know, by calling them Big Shirley, passed away so quickly. You would think he would have been, if he would have stopped worrying about Big Shirley and worried about his own health, he might still be around today. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for saying that. He's the one who turned out to be the ultimate hypocrite. By dissing Black women and talking about their shape or their condition, and look where he at now. Look where he at now. If he put that same focus on his own health, he would clearly be around still. So that's why I would have thought that would have been a wake-up call for a lot of the Black men in our community. But all that did was make him a martyr or something, and it made things worse. I really wish he was still around, because number one, it's more fun to roast somebody who's still around, and number two, he would have exposed himself by now. Anyway, this is what this young lady should be. Pretty Black Misha, make sure you check out her channel, by the way. But this is what this young lady, if she really truly cared about Black women being fit and everything, she would have been doing something like this.
I was over my back rolls and struggled to get rid of them before learning this. I thought that back workouts could just melt the fat right off, and I was not seeing any results, so that was definitely not the solution. I tried waist training, drinking apple cider vinegar, I took every supplement under the sun, sweatbands, and still nothing was working. But the moment I got into a calorie deficit, I started to see things change. It definitely wasn't the most comfortable, but what makes it easy is actually preparing foods that you enjoy. I grew up the fat kid. I struggled and struggled and struggled, and I had zero confidence. And now that I'm an adult, I refuse to ever feel that way again. So when people ask me how I train so hard and stay consistent and push through, it's because I've been there. I know what it's like to constantly hate your body, to feel unworthy, and to give into those stupid cravings every single night. I'm here to tell you that there is light at the end of that tunnel. So let's.
There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you inspire women or men. She was heavy set. She was overweight. And now, as you can see, let me get a picture of her. She's slim and trimmed. Not everybody has to do this. If you like the way you are now, by all means. But the last thing you want to do is be with big, listen to somebody like the big glasses girl who did nothing but insult women. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Clay and Megan. It appears that they did get married.
Bombshell news. 36-year-old Clay Thompson and 31-year-old Megan Thee Stallion have quietly tied the knot. But
Yep. There you go. Clay's a happy camper. And I love it so much because it shows you that red pill dudes was completely wrong. Was completely wrong. They tried to say, oh yeah, Megan, she ain't about that life. Megan ain't about that life. Megan is about that life. Oh, wait, I can't play that because it got music. I ain't taking no chances. Music beat. Boom. Here we go. But yeah, they got married a while ago too. They kept that shit quiet. They kept that shit quiet. Let's go on. Let's break it down now. Here we are. Kendra G versus Cam Newton. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here we go.
But let me ask you this. As I'm so intrigued about this conversation, and I've had my fair share of specialists, doctors, experts.
I don't claim to be any of that.
Yeah, but I think my question is, why should somebody listen to you?
Oh, right into that question. God damn. Ha! He ain't playing. He said, we was he. Let's get to the interview now.
Yeah, I know, Misha. Nappy headed, blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
Because I have the data to support anything that I say.
Okay.
I know some people just learned
It's
to me.
funny to me because why does he have a problem with her, but he has no problem with Kevin Samuels? You'll see later on.
From my single show that I started 6 years ago. But like I said, I am a 25-year plus television and radio journalist. Before interviewing single people, I used to interview celebrities, for a living. And there's things that I know now that I did not know 6 years ago. Situationships are the problem because situationships connect you to a person, and I'm a person that I'm like a monogamous person. I'm a monogamous woman.
So you're celibate?
I haven't had sex. You're right. I have not had sex since my last relationship. Exactly.
Do you care to share the time?
Yes, since about almost 2 years. Is it almost?
So Cam is surprised because she has abstained for 2 years. He thinks it's amazing because. And I'll tell you why, because he's such a 304 himself. He cannot fathom, not, being sexual for 2 years.
Almost 2 years? I'm more shocked that you're shocked. There's a lot of women that are not just out here having sex.
Is it because of you or is it because of them?
I'll go back to the guy that I was just telling you with, because that was a situationship. You know, he an athlete, you know, he all the things, you know, he a young Cam Newton. He got all the things. He in shape. He got the money. He got the
Yeah, Cam Newton. That was kind of a cool.
attraction, but this is going nowhere. And I'm always going to want more than he can give me. What I don't about situationships is you can get connected to a person that can never give you all that you really want. And it's not their fault because that wasn't the agreement, right? But we're human. And usually the situationship only works for the person who genuinely doesn't want the relationship. But it can also skew women because now you have this man that you can sleep with. And let's say he got money to fly you to Spain and, you know, for your birthday, like all these wonderful things. But that's it. Like he can't show up for you on your mama's birthday, or it's not going to grow to that. And now when a guy comes along that could marry you or wants to be there, but maybe he don't got as much money. Maybe he's not as exciting. Your taste bugs, he can't provide your taste bugs because it's like, oh, you want to take me to Applebee's for my birthday? Like I'm used to going to Mexico. I'm used to going to Paris. Like to me, the situationship is dangerous. I think.
And yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So what happened after this? Fools started coming after Kendra, but I'll let her tell you herself. Here we go.
I think for women who want relationships. Okay, so the headline reads, Cam Newton checks Kendra G for giving parenting advice. You know, I'm Kendra G. Hey, people. I was actually the woman in the interview. What part did this happen? Because I lived the interview. I'm actually the woman in the interview. And I can't find this moment to save my life. You know why I can't find the moment? Because it never happened. There's never a moment in this interview in which I am giving Cam Newton parenting advice. This what works my nerves.
He needs it, but it won't help any, but he needs it. But let's keep going.
The most as a real journalist, as a person that actually went to college and has a broadcasting degree, a person that has been doing interviews before YouTube was created, before podcast equipment was on sale. This is what I did. Okay. So now that we got my credentials out the way, let's go back to the clickbait headline. So if you have not watched the full interview I did with Cam Newton on Funky Friday, go to YouTube and watch the full interview. Now, in the interview, there's a moment when Cam asked me, could I date a man with kids? I get to the point in my answer in which I say, can't date a man with 9 kids. Okay, that's too many kids. Got to accept the children, their mama, and more than likely, one of the children would not like me.
I do think you're projecting a little bit.
Projecting in what way?
The example that you gave was one of them kids ain't gonna like me.
You think that all 9 kids are going to like your new girlfriend?
Well, as the adult, there's certain things that you instill in your children as respect.
I feel as though
he must remote instill because all his kids don't live with him.
Is this. You can teach your children respect, right, but their emotions belong to them.
Yeah. And this is why this is going back to the first question.
Okay.
It's like, you're telling me how a children is supposed to be raised.
Real quick, I'm not telling you how to raise children.
Yeah, but we're having a conversation about so your children don't think on their own.
Well, remember now, he acknowledged that that's not what she was talking about, but for some reason he's whining right now.
I'm telling you, hell no, they don't. Not while they're in my house, because
you're not in your house, bro. Notice that little thing. He goes, not when they're in my house, but none of them live with him. Not even his most recent infants live with him, according to Google. According to Google, none of them live with him. So this is the thing I wanted to bring up, is just because you had kids doesn't mean you take care of the kids or that you even instill in the kids. He's got 4 kids that are in Maryland. That's not right around the corner from Atlanta. And he just had 2 other kids. I would have thought that, okay, he's going to live with at least the most recent mother of his children, of his most recent children. And he doesn't. It is like, the problem is that it's Cam's problem is bad enough as it is. Not remote and still. Cam's problem is that I feel that there are some emotional shortcomings that he has that he doesn't realize the type of impact he is negatively having on a lot of his actions, which includes having kids, then leaving the person, having kids while having another kid by another woman, okay, at the same time. He does not care, in my opinion, about women or other beings in his life. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't say, damn, let me give, I don't want to, I need to be there for my children. I can't be there for my children if I'm always having kids or, kicking out the mother of my children, because I was cheating. That's what he was doing. I'm not saying that he kicked her out. She left. Yep. Kia left. Kia said, F this. And I know what happened. She knew dude was cheating on her all the time. Kind of like how, what's his name was cheating on his wife 100 times. What is that dude's name? Jackson, whatever his first name is. Action Jackson, that's what I call him because he has too much action. No, think about it. He started stacking babies in the same year. He doesn't care. Cam, there's nothing you can say that's going to make it look like you cared about these people, the children or the mothers. There's nothing you can say. This is coming from a football fan. That was just, for you to have one baby on the way, which is going to be, I guess, number 4, right? And then make another baby by another woman. And let me make it clear, Kia did not know. It was that extra baby that sent Kia packing. Let me make that clear one more time. It was that extra baby that made Kia leave. And I guarantee you that wasn't the first time he cheated on Kia. He didn't just accidentally, after, one time, make Kia make this other woman pregnant. And it was the only time he was with that woman. That's crazy. Look, we all have to get to the point where people we might have a lot of respect for or a lot of admiration for something they do, we have to get to a point where we have to let them go as role models. Cam is that person.
If it's up to my kids, they're eating Skittles every night. You may not want to go to school, but hey, yes, I'm thinking for you. I'm telling you that no, I'm not negotiating with you.
I agree with all that. So we were talking about your children's emotion with a new romantic interest. That's what I'm talking about. So you're right, I don't have kids, but when I was a kid, there's a moment my parents were not together. No matter who my dad had, she wasn't my mama. No matter who my mother had, he wasn't my dad. So yes, I have to be respectful, but don't get it twisted. I'm team my parent, no matter who y'all dating.
Now here's why I'm irritated, because I make that part clear in the interview. But bloggers are keeping that moment out because then they can't drive the narrative that I got checked for trying to give parenting advice. Listen, bloggers, here's the deal. I know you got to get your rent paid by getting clicks and using my name and Cam's name. I understand it. But if you're going to report on me, I suggest you report the facts.
Yeah, I agree with that. Welcome to stage, Deontay and J. Mike. Good seeing you. What's going on with you tonight?
How you doing, DJ?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah.
Just getting my roast in. I already got Angry Man toasted up real good with his hypocrisy.
Yeah, man, I see, man. I caught you at the end last night, for a second. Who's the DJ? You going back to back this, tonight. But yeah, I just wanted to say about Cam. I mean, we talking about it before. Cam is an idiot, man. And he is doing exactly what Kendra was just saying, though. Like, he's bringing her on the show. He knows what kind of platform she has, what she's been doing for years now with the single show. And it is entertaining to watch when you see the ignorant, men and women come on there and do their thing. But she does have people who come on there and are legitimate, real, trying to find, relationships or whatever. But whenever you get caught, one thing about Kendra is that she keeps reminding people that she's not an expert or a dating coach or a psychologist, and she's right to do that. But people are always going to put her in that category just because she's hosting the show to bring singles together. They're always going to talk about her being single and all this other nonsense. Same thing that people did to Kevin Samuels when they got mad at him, that he wasn't married or anything. But Kendra is not a. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse. Kendra is not a fucking asshole like KS was. She's very polite, and when she does get on the men and the women, it's not because she just trying to find some salacious way to go viral. They done brought some weird nonsense to her. Now Cam in his situation, he's just trying to find something. He just figures I keep poking and prodding at her or whoever's sitting in this seat, especially if it's a woman, I'll be able to find something salacious that I can exploit for the internet. A few weeks ago, he just did that one girl, I forget her name, the woman from the Bad Girls, the Baddies or whatever. And she like embarrassed him because she started reversing the thing with him and was like, well, what's up with you? What's up with all your kids and your baby moms? And didn't you lose the Super Bowl? She told this dude that she said, didn't you lose the Super Bowl? Why you fumbling the Super Bowl, Cam? He was sitting there looking like an idiot on stuck. Then she took his hat off his head and walked off the set laughing. He just sat there looking dumb because he didn't know how to handle it.
Damn, I gotta check out that episode.
Yeah, her name was I can't remember. Somebody will know.
Hey, was this the clip that Torch talked about Torch talked about DJ Cam? I mean, Cam Newton recently with the two women in it.
It wasn't two, one woman in it. I can't remember her name. She was from the Baddies show. Yeah, she was from that Baddies show. She actually started it, I guess. But I'm just saying, Cam, no, he,
I wonder, was it Natalie Nunn?
Yes, that's what it was, Natalie Nunn. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just found it. I mean, let's go to the next clip. But it's really funny to me. Let me see. Where did I put it? Okay, let me go right here. Let me start out with some of the dudes that were. These are some of the dudes she was talking about.
My question is, why should somebody listen to you? What gives you the right to bring people together? Are you married?
I'm not married.
Have you ever been married?
No, I haven't.
Have you been engaged?
I have been engaged. And I have 16,000 other experiences I could share.
Yeah.
So who do you think is capable of having this conversation?
If I'm taking relationship advice, I want it, me personally.
Yes.
I prefer it to come from somebody who's been in a relationship.
Maybe that is why I'm successful, because I don't have
A
something.
same
Here's the
type
thing.
of- he one of them same type of fucked up idiots that be on Kendra G show. different baby mamas, multiple kids.
Yeah.
He just as bad as them ratchet ass women that be on them.
You know something? You bring up a good point. If Cam didn't have any money or any fame, nobody would hesitate calling him Pookie. They just wouldn't. It's his lifestyle. He lives a Pookie lifestyle. Who's gonna okay, first he dates the first woman for like 8 years, 7 or 8 years. And I assume he probably had been cheating a little bit, at least during that time. Then the woman didn't leave because he was cheating. The woman left because he kept cheating. I guarantee you she would say, yeah, I kind of caught him doing this, caught him doing that, caught him doing this and caught him doing that again, caught him doing this and caught him doing that again. But when he had the child, that was that. In fact, let me bring that up. I got a clip that I think we need to really look at. Let me bring that one up. I think this is it right here.
So I'm a single mom of five kids later. People always ask, "Oh, why are you what happened with your marriage?" Or why you're not in a relationship? And I always say I was never married, but the relationship, I thought it was going towards marriage. And then my partner at the time had an outside baby. And he kind of wanted to force it on me. And I wasn't really ready to, I don't really know how to describe this or talk about this. He had a baby.
Basically, it's like this. What Kia is saying is that she was with this man for a long time. And I truly believe she knew Cam was cheating. But when he had the kid out of wedlock, or whatever you want to call it, not wedlock, but you know what I mean, she just said, fuck it, I'm done. And she has every right. See, he thought she would stay because he knocked her up 4 times. And he thought he had her down, chained down, and she wasn't going to go nowhere. But she left. So this is really messy. I mean, the thing is this, as you know, when it comes to Cam, it's like, dude, how can you even, wait, hold on one second, Tev. How in the hell can you even criticize anybody for anything that has to do with relationships when you've been at the top level of messy? I mean, this is bad. I mean, this is really bad. It's bad enough when a dude cheats on his woman that had 4 kids, married or not. But they didn't to turn around and have these pseudo relationship shows and then critique other women and shit is unfathomable. You guys, okay. Go for it, J-Mike.
I was asking, was that the first one?
The first one that cheated, the first one that he overlapped with?
Yeah.
I think he only overlapped once. But there could be more, because think about it. He just got out of a relationship with another woman for another woman. And right after he left the other woman, he had a baby on the way with the new one. By the way, let me repeat it again. He does not live with any of his kids at this moment. He is 0-7.
Outside of our relationship that I was not okay with. And we were not married. So I'm like, I'm not about to deal with this because I thought this, what we had, was something way more special than the way you're treating it. And I felt like I had no choice but to leave. I had to choose me. And
yeah. Yep.
You know, DJ, this is very simple to really break down for a lot of these men, right? Because it's something. I've got an older cousin of mine who's like a mentor, basically, like an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me this a long time ago, and I understood it. I don't care if you are a rich, powerful, successful, famous man, right? If you really want to be with your woman, especially y'all started a family together, and you can't stop cheating on her, and somebody said, well, why can't you stop cheating on her? And you come up with all the, oh, you know, I'm a man and there's women and there's so many women and blah, 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 blah. And you know, I get all of that except for one final thing. You don't have any self-discipline.
Right.
So if you don't have no self-discipline, then you ain't a real man then. So don't start beating your chest saying you a real man, but you can't stop cheating on your wife because there's just too many bad bitches out here. Basically, I'm sorry, but that's what that basically what some of these guys are trying to say. Yeah, and you know what? They're right. Lil Wayne said it best: too many women, not enough time. You know your best thing to do is don't get married. You can have kids without getting married. Unfortunately, our community done fucking patented that. You know what I'm saying? Having kids without getting married and turning it into something for real.
Right.
Just don't get married. But see, you get married because you're selfish. You want to keep her as your own. Nobody else can touch it, but you allowed to go out here and dance inside of every damn thing else. I mean, hey, if you want to do that, that's cool. If you find a woman that's willing to do that, because it is some women who will go for that, then that's cool. But don't know marry a woman lying to her that you ain't gonna cheat on her and everything, just so you can lock her down, and then you got to play juggling with all these chicks behind your back and trying to lie and all. It's not worth all of that, man. Just don't get married. And if Cam would come out, him and all these other guys would just come out and say that, then just be cool with it. That's what I would do. If I was a rich, famous person, I knew I couldn't stop chasing them for JJ, I'd be like, listen, like, I can't get married to you because this is what I'm end up doing. That's it. It's that simple.
Right. Yeah, well, see, that's Cam. That's part of the problem that a lot of men like Cam have is, believe it or not, this sounds weird, but deceit is part of their enjoyment of a relationship or whatever you want to call it. It's the saddest thing. You know something? It's the saddest thing. But I'm gonna let Concrete Ghost is in the mix. I'm gonna let her break it down. Let's get a woman's perspective on this. Concrete Ghost, thank you for coming through. I see. You got your sip on and everything.
I've already eaten.
You know,
I've already eaten, and I've come here to eat.
I hear that.
You is one of my favorite people to make fun of. Because let's be real for a second. Just because a man is successful, loud, and visible doesn't mean he's right about everything. He has a platform that gives him reach, but not the wisdom. Some men look up to figures like Cam because they see confidence, they see money, they see status, and they think that's the formula. But success in one area doesn't automatically make you an expert in another. Great athlete. He's just a great athlete. Absolutely, no doubt. Relationship blueprint, that's a totally different conversation. Because when you really break it down, what are we learning? What are we learning? Discipline and drive from him? Or are we adopting a lifestyle that doesn't require accountability? It's easy to admire the highlight reel. It's harder to question the foundation behind it. So what's useful? Work ethic, mindset, resilience, sure. But don't copy and paste somebody else's life without asking if it's actually building stability, responsibility, and respect. Because at the end of the day, a microphone can make you influential, but it doesn't automatically make you right.
Bars. Let me pause that for 1 second and then go on to the next mix. So, here we go.
There's a lot of similarities or comparables to, comparing you to the late Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
Was he right or wrong with his criticisms of men and women or women?
The thing that I got to be honest, I did do a show one time. I got wind of Kevin when my show was already started. I was on Instagram. So I started my show April of 2020. I believe he was on YouTube by that time. Never heard of him. November of 2020, he had a clip that said average at best that went viral. And then it spilled over to the Instagram world. Mm-hmm. And, this was a big video. And then he started doing lives on Instagram. We actually DM'd each other. I was like, I wanted him to come on my show because by this time I was 6 months in. Mm-hmm. And I started learning like, oh, there's a pattern to this. Like, oh, every woman feels as though she qualifies for this. Oh, every man feels as though he qualifies for this type of woman. So I wanted to partner. We did a couple of DMs. We did not connect. I ended up going on his show. This is what I would say. I think there was some truth. I went on his show and I said that. I've always said there was things that he said that I supported. The thing that I do not support is I don't support a woman having a man.
Everyone builds a reputation. You can be the person that shows up or the person that at Roll can show up.
Support a woman having a man is better than no man. I would absolutely, Kendra G would tell you, have no man, get your life together, heal, become better before you go out to get another man.
And it worked perfectly good for, Megan Thee Stallion. It worked. The game plan was get your mind right, and find the right person.
I sent her an email. Meg Thee Stallion, I sent her an email. I say, Meg, I loved you for a long time. Do you need a flower girl? I'm here. I will get my big behind in any little fluffy dress you need. I just want to be your flower girl. Right, keep this one. I will be your flower girl.
That's right. She's right around the corner from you. Forgot about that.
Tall chicks got to stick together.
That's right.
No, let me finish this. Okay. And then also I felt as though, because when you say that, it means, and again, this might work. Now, I'm on record saying your dynamic wouldn't work for me, but I can respect if it works for y'all, right? But I think it's unfair to do a scare tactic at times when it comes to, well, at least I have a man. Yes, he's doing this. Yes, he might have cheated or whatever the case may be, but at least I have a man. No, honey, I would rather have nothing than something that is ruining my life. So that's where I think our messages kind of walked away from. And every man is not, just like every human's not equal, right? Every black woman's not every black woman's not equal, every white woman, every black man, all those things. But there's some men who feel as though because they're a man, that what they say goes and they can get any woman and they have more value just because they are a man. Doesn't mean I don't want a man. It means like, okay, you're not the right man. So let me enjoy life, do what I got to do, become better, and I meet more people.
But then that's where throughout my experiences of what I've seen, that's what get people every single time. That's not the man or that's not the woman for me. And I had my partner, I'm like, bro, nah, I don't want to talk to her. Why you don't want to talk to her? Man, she don't look that good. And I then reiterated and say, what you think she see? Bro, you in some brogans, some old fear of gods. Like you're not your best version of yourself right now, bro. So you're looking at an expectation of a woman to be fine and dandy, but you also got to see what she sees too.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of unrealistic.
I actually agree with that.
delusional people, and I'm speaking for the men.
Now, this is where he starts to fall off, because he's pretty delusional himself. He thinks he's a lot better of a father or a person or a human being or a boyfriend than he really is.
I'm like, dude, you ain't peak, and you won't peak. Or you know what comes with this type of woman. So when she says, hey, I need $50,000 to keep my lifestyle up, she's right.
For that woman.
And if you're not willing to pay it, guess what? Somebody is. So you can't say, oh man, she lame as hell for not. Listen, bro, she would not have said it, or she would not have acted if somebody wasn't willing to do it.
Exactly.
She's saying like, listen, I'm not no average, or this is what I'm expecting. So either you can provide it or step aside. And dare I speak about women on this? I only can speak about dudes, and dudes can get delusional to the degree where it's like, bro, my boy, come on, dog. Like, there's no way you can shoot your shot at this caliber chick. I see what she see. And I'm straight as ever, but I'm realistic too. I'm gonna take accountability. And I think oftentimes
and I think he does take accountability in certain sections, but basically as far as relationships are concerned, for that he's literally involved in, I disagree.
I'm confused. What the hell is he talking about? I'm with wisdom. What the hell is he talking about? So
he's talking about looks and selection.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
he
he's
just talked about a chick that said she needs $50K to keep up her lifestyle. He's talking about a prostitute. So his peak women are prostitutes?
Yeah,
what kind of high quality man?
See, I didn't see it that way.
Out the gate?
Yeah. Yep.
That don't make any sense to me. If a chick come up to you and she looking all good and she need $50K to maintain her lifestyle, my first question would be, what the hell do you do for work that you lacking $50K? Person that I do not know. Why do you need that much money? Are you a hoe?
Right.
I love to date. I have a good time dating. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I have never gone out once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 7 times with a dude and tell them I need so many Ks to maintain my lifestyle. So is this their quality woman that they're looking for? Because that could explain a lot why he's not married, because it seemed like he's hanging around hoes. You don't marry the hoe.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at all the women that Cam has dated, and believe it or not, they are relationship minded. He just swindled them.
Now I'm gonna have to get on some of these women too, because we not complete idiots. Cam been through no women. He didn't plow through the women. When you are little, your parents say, "Hey, this oven is hot," and you stick your hand in it, and you will get burned. And they tell you, "Hey, this oven is hot." You stick your hand in it and you get burned. If you woman number 8, 9, 10, and Cam Newton ran through all these women and had all these babies, you stick your hand in that stove, you will get burned. Some of them purposely stuck their hand in that stove to get
The
that.
problem is, a lot of people in the Black community aren't telling their daughters this.
Oh, they know. Some of the women probably popped out that baby trying to tie him down, trying to be locked to him, trying to get
when they get
that money. They know. They know.
Yeah, when they get older and made the mistake.
They know what they're doing because they entitled. If they
don't talk to girls about this.
Some of that money. They know what they were doing.
They have to find out for themselves. But I get what you're saying.
They're not completely innocent. They wasn't born yesterday. If they not on birth control and they give birth to his baby, that's to be tied to that money and to be tied to Cam. Thinking maybe they can change him.
You're right about that. But
maybe they think they can change him. But you stick your hand into that oven, you will get burned.
But you got to think about it. Our parents, a lot of our parents in the Black community wasn't the best. So we had to learn somewhere else.
But it's definitely an interest for money.
I don't need to go dancing in the middle of the highway to know I can get hit by a car. I've never done that in my life. Sometimes you can watch other people do stupid stuff. You don't need to make the mistakes to learn. You watch other people. And he's not the first dude that started blowing up people's vajayjays in a row, having all these babies. He's not the first one. I do not need to get anywhere near Cam Newton to know that his dick is dangerous. Dangerous and dusty. Dangerous and dusty, and being shared by a whole bunch of women, and will continue to be shared by a whole bunch of women, and probably will have more babies than his income can support.
Yeah, no, it's about the access to women. I'm sorry, the access to money. So what I mean by that is guys like Cam or anybody who's making, you know, they're in the 7 to 8 figure zone, right? And they're making that much or more. I'm talking on a yearly basis. That is really rare that somebody would actually run into this person, especially if you are capable of attaching yourself to them and their money, which obviously a woman can by becoming pregnant by a man that's making that type of money. So I think that what happens is, because it is stupid, if you see a man who has 3 or more children with 3 or more women, and he said they all crazy, that should be a flag, just like the opposite. It should be a flag for the woman looking at him, just like it's a flag for me. If I see a woman and she got 2, 3 baby fathers and all this other, I ain't got time for that. But at the same time, if you're already in a situation where you're not being exposed to any kind of money like that, every guy talking to you and trying to get at you is just a regular type guy, financial, and that's cool. You get a millionaire hollering at you, and a lot of these women in that situation think different. I think that they even will think different when they didn't think that they would think like that because they didn't think they would be in that situation. So it's like that one girl, Taylor, from Fox Sports that got fired, or I think it was last year or earlier this year. She had said in the podcast with a bunch of women, so, you know, we always talk about we want men like this or that, but let's be honest, ladies, if his bank account is big enough, no matter what he look like or act like, we gonna give him a shot. And I think that's what happens to a lot of these women who mess with men like Cam, who have, in Future, and Nick Cannon, who's got 5, 6, and I can go down the list now, like, who got more than 5 children with more than 5 women. I mean, you talking about dudes that got 9, 10, 11 kids with all these women, but they're making so much money, you know, and they have never been exposed to that. And they want it.
It's a self-esteem issue, though, because think about it. I don't care if the man's gonna give me $5 million. I've never touched $5 million in my life. I have dated some well-off men, some rich men, but I've never been around that kind of money. But that's a self-esteem issue. I would not give up my peace for $5 million. I would not give up my body to be tied with a dusty like him. I would not give up my sense of self-esteem for the public to know me as another baby mama, and then to have my babies grow up to know I'm one of many. That is a self-esteem issue. Ladies, if you don't think any better of yourself than just another baby mama, and to have access to the money, you trading in all of that and your peace just for a dusty dick. Oh my God, that's a self-esteem problem. You gotta think better of yourself. If you crumble for that or less, then you deserve whatever comes your way. But the thing that bothers me most is those babies are going to grow up and know their daddy is a dusty, and they gonna think they mama's a hoe because they number 3 of 9 or 4 of 12. That's heartbreaking. I couldn't even look my kid in the eye.
Shout out to White is seeking knowledge in the house. It's good seeing you. We having a great conversation. Okay, so let's listen a little bit more, and then I'm gonna play something else. Here we go.
Relationships, people are not realistic. I oftentimes use that same kind of reality. I'm very big in the youth space. I'm very big in giving back my time, the most expensive thing to impacting kids.
But he got 7 kids. He don't help out at all. Here we go.
Careers by using football. The thing that I always see.
Now, I will say that he does have a camp. He does do a camp.
School kids do with their parents is go to an unrealistic school. It's like Georgia, University of Florida, Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, LSU.
This is a sports analogy.
This is a sports analogy.
Okay, so I'm going to be lost here, but I'm following you.
I can make it make sense for you. These are major Power 4 universities where their budgets exceed 7-8 figures, right? If not more. You're not qualified as the look test to be a typical athlete that will represent that college or university. So why even waste your time? Oh, well, God got to call it. Okay, first off, don't play with my God. All right. And just being realistic, you don't pass the metrics test that most coaches go by. You're 5'8". All right. You run, you're not as fast as you could possibly be.
He's trying, what he's doing is he's trying to give himself credit for being, you know, a superior athlete. But this has nothing to do with relationships. I know he's trying to make it about it and, you know, to make it, you know, make this analogy by making relationships and dating analogy the same, but it's not landing right. What do you guys think?
I think it's bogus.
So let me play the next clip.
That's another word for bullshit.
Let me play this clip right here. Here we go.
There's only so much you can get.
I miss Kevin Samuels.
I know. Look, PBM, check out this dude. Nothing in it. I mean, that's the funny thing is it seems like the I'm going to be nice. The men that really didn't get the best gene pool seem to criticize women the most.
So much.
You have a family that would like you to get back together, a child that would like you to get back together. It ain't like there's something better around the corner, because the alternative is to get back out here and do this stuff. And that ain't benefit you or him.
That's true. Or our daughter.
There you go.
100% correct. It's only the single people that loves the misery of being single.
You think,
I mean, think about it. You guys really think that dude is not single? You know, listen to this again.
A man can motivate a woman to do or be X, Y, Z.
Yes. And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yes.
But what's missing from that calculus is, let's take it out of relationship. Basically, if you got the money and the credit rating to afford a Bentley, you're not going to go get a car you got to repair. And we've told women that men should accept men who go out here and work 60, 70, 80 hours, putting in the work in the field, in the office, in the studio, trying to get out here to separate themselves from the competition. I don't have time to come on and try to motivate you to take your ass to the gym when you know that's what I want in the first place.
Why do we need that man in the first place? Because, I mean, we work in the same amount of hours, making our own money, having our own Bentley. So what do we need to do for? Mm-hmm. I'm very comfortable in my house, and I share it with a cat. Ain't no dude living up with me. Kevin Samuels didn't blow up because he was right. He blew up because he was loud, overly confident, and speaking to these red pill frustrations. And sometimes when you're frustrated, you don't want nuance. You want certainty. He gave people a lens to understand dating, but that lens came with a lot of blind spots. Because real relationships aren't about value. They're about respect and growth and compatibility. So the real question is, was he right or was he wrong? It's the parts that he said that actually help people to build a healthy life. But he overgeneralized. He was too rigid in gender roles. He's reducing relationships to transaction, just like in this scene. So if I can do all that for myself, why do I need a man?
Exactly. This is right here. This next clip right here is basically his Kevin Samuels' ex-wife, who would be your best. Kevin Samuels' ex-wife would be his best, what would you call it, example of being a good man. Let's see what she said about him.
Okay, let's talk about it. Kevin Samuels' ex-wife published a book. Well, kinda. She published this book in 2001, prior to the Godfather's death. Now this book is out. It's a pamphlet, if you will, a brochure. It's only 109 pages. I started to clown at first, but then I saw it was a collection of poems. Now, does she talk about the Godfather in this book, Brother Samuels, rest in peace? Of course she does. She doesn't allude to him by name, but she talks about infidelity and emotional things and overcoming it. So,
Infidelity. And if you listen to what he's saying, he knows she's talking about Kevin Samuels and how it was to be married to Kevin Samuels. Let's make this clear. Let's clarify this, because see, a lot of men out there and maybe some women too they try to leave this legacy out of their godfather. They want to make it seem like he was a great guy to in the past, and it just didn't work out. But listen to what he put this woman through.
now, does she talk about the Godfather in this book, Brother Samuels, rest in peace? Of course she does. She doesn't allude to him by name, but she talks about infidelity and emotional things and overcoming it. So I'm going to give her props and commend her on trying to capitalize and monetize this, because he does have a name. She can siphon off of that.
Wait a minute. She went through all that shit, and he's trying to make it sound like that she's clout chasing and shit. See, and notice how this dude, who I can tell you has not one bone of empathy, is ignoring the fact of what this woman went through to be with Kevin Samuels.
Bet you he's single.
I'm sorry, say again.
Bet you he's single.
Yeah. Let me break down to you how he treats women, even his own daughter. Here we go.
The image of my dad, not just because he is a figure in the community.
This Kevin Samuels' daughter right here.
And back that far. But what I do always remember is that I always felt like I was second.
Well, that's not good. So this is a ladies' man who makes even his own daughter feels like she's second.
Felt like I didn't matter. See, look, I'm about to cry.
Wow. I mean,
he was just a well-dressed deadbeat with a deficit in being deep. He was nothing. Nothing of a man.
And I told myself I'm not gonna cry about like me and my dad not having a relationship anymore, but just talking about some of the things that have affected. My dad was physically there, but he was never mentally or emotionally there. And that is an issue within itself. I'm not going to talk about how my dad grew up because I have no idea. Every time I've tried to talk to him to get him to open up so that I can understand him, he just made jokes. Like I remember a couple of months ago, I was like, Dad, did you ever deal with any traumas growing up like that made you who you are? And he was like, well, that one time your Uncle D, he stuck me with a diaper pin when he was changing my diaper when I was like 2. Like he just takes things as jokes. I don't know if it's because as how most men are, they don't like to open up. I don't know. I really don't care because I just feel like what you deal with growing up, you have the ability to decide how you're going to use that. You can use it to hurt people, or you can use it to say, you know what, I don't want to instill that in the people in my life. And you just keep it moving. So I primarily spent a lot of time at my dad's mother's house growing up because my sister didn't like going over there. She hated it. And I loved it because not only did I just absolutely love my grandmother and her husband, but because I was the only one there, I always got the attention there that I did not get at home.
First, let me read Wisdom's message. Women should require levels from men. If he can't want to reach, goodbye. We are the ones always held accountable. So for tax for life. Hope I read that right. She just said, this is his own daughter. This is his own daughter. Now, a lot of men will say, no, that's not his daughter, blah, 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 or whatever. I even went to red pill channels and they acknowledge this is his daughter. But what they did, the little bit of a compliment she did give him, they would use that, and then they would cut off what she's saying right now. They would cut off the part of how he was distant and how he was basically being outfathered by his relatives. That's what she's saying here. Let's bring it back a little bit. This is important because people need to understand that this is his daughter. This isn't some woman who out of the blue who's trying to talk smack about men in general. She is giving you her transparent honesty on how it is living with Kevin Samuels. Now, I already showed you how he treated his wife. And the man acknowledged, I'm going back on this. I'm sorry. The man acknowledged that she made it clear that Kevin did not treat her very well.
But she talks about infidelity and emotional things and overcoming that. So I'm going to give her props.
You don't have to overcome happiness. Let me just make that clear. You do not have to overcome happiness. Let me shut up for a minute. Let me let Ghost, Deontay, and J Mike break it down, because I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad because I'm upset that he treated his own family like this.
See, I'm not even mad. I'm just really sad. And I know some dudes out there who, just like Kevin Samuels, is going to be listening to this. And my heart just breaks for their children. You got these men who complain they can't get a woman, and then they get with a woman and have these children and don't take up their responsibility. So to those men who choose distance over duty, there's a difference between being a father and simply being present at the beginning. One creates life, the other helps sustain it. Your children didn't ask to be here. They trusted that the people who brought them into this world would show up for them, not just when it's convenient, not just when it feels good, but consistently. A stable home and a father's attention aren't luxuries. They are solid foundations. So when you step back from that responsibility, the absence doesn't go unnoticed. It echoes in their questions, in their understanding of love, and in the spaces where guidance should have been. It isn't about perfection. No parent is perfect, but effort matters. Presence matters. Accountability matters. And you still have time to choose differently, to be the steady voice, the reliable support, the example that these kids can look up to with trust instead of confusion. Because at the end of the day, what they will remember isn't what you said about being a father, it's whether you showed up and lived it.
Bars. Why Seeking Knowledge says this: males don't want to meet the standards of a higher grade woman. Then they berate the ones they chase. Bars. It's like kind of like sore loser syndrome. It's like, oh, well, I might as well just get mad at this, woman. But get this, y'all. This is the crazy part right here. Let me play this clip. Here we go.
Instill that in the people in my life, and you just keep it moving. So I primarily spent a lot of time at my dad's mother's house growing up because my sister didn't like going over there. She hated it. And I loved it because not only did I just absolutely love my grandmother and her husband, but because I was the only one there, I always got the attention there that I did not get at home.
Wait a minute.
So I felt love. I felt all of that. And when my grandmother died when I was 10 years old, I just became really depressed. For 9 years, I dealt with depression. I dealt with a lot of anxiety. I used to have panic attacks like in my sleep, waking up, just feeling like I couldn't breathe. And it just was really bad because I had to watch her disintegrate, like literally. She had pancreatic cancer And she died about 2.5 years after she was diagnosed. So it wasn't anything fast. And I think sometimes the slower deaths are just as bad as the fast ones because you
My
literally watch
stepfather had
somebody get really, really
pancreatic
bad.
cancer. He passed not even a year
I became
after he was
suicidal
diagnosed with it.
because I just felt like the one person that I never had to question their love for me was gone. Yeah, I just always felt like I was second. One of the things that my dad used to do that really bothered me, and he actually laughed about it. And said,
Let me pause. I need to remind you, everybody, this is Kevin Samuel's daughter. This is the daughter of the man who gives out dating and relationship advice. I need to
And she
preface that.
said she has a sister. I wonder, was that sister Kevin's daughter too?
Yeah.
But if it is, we wouldn't know.
No, Kevin said he was married twice. He was married to a woman that already had a child before he married her. And that's why he always say he knows personally being a stepfather ain't easy. And then he was married to a woman that didn't have a child before. But I believe that's his only daughter. Yeah, his only child is the daughter.
Oh, that brings up that point. Remember, Deontay, when I keep playing that clip about how he made that analogy about what if
the daughter in the shower?
Yeah. Well, let me move past that. Let's move forward with this what she says now. What his daughter said. This is 3 years old. Here we go.
Sunday's incident, and basically kind of threw his hands up as if it was like, whatever, like that's what he literally said, that's what you're mad about. I remember growing up, he grabbed me by my hair, and in the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window.
I don't know about you, but he doesn't really sound like the type of person anybody should be taking relationship advice about anything, to quite honestly, whether it be father, daughter, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. He sounds like a mess, and it really frightens me that men look up to him with him having this sort of history. This is not hidden. This is not, I didn't have to dox this up or anything. I grabbed this off YouTube easily. Everyone knows he has a daughter. Everyone knows that he had a wife. And they ignore the fact of how he treated both of them. It's kind of got me feeling a certain way. It's like, wow, you guys really this is the guy you want to die on a hill with or for or whatever. I mean, for real. I mean, really. I mean, this is his legacy right here. Now, I'm not going to say that relationships should be forever, nothing like that. But the goal is that at least you should not put somebody through something to the point where they have to heal after you. That's an issue. I mean, the thing is this, it's not even really that. It's the fact that all of you men that are out there that might listen to this later are championing a guy who, by all means, failed as a husband and a father. I mean, you can't say, don't get me wrong, it's okay to fail. Believe it or not, it is. It's okay to fail as being a husband or a father. If you gave it a good try, you give it a good try. I mean, you try the best. You may have not had the best tools when you were born. Who knows? The issue is you made this guy who clearly didn't have it your hero. That's what scares me. It's you made this dude right here who definitely needed to work on relationship skills himself, your relationship coach. Let me pause for a minute. Pause for the cause. Anybody got anything?
Well, DJ, I got something, man, but it's just a little more big picture in general, like the macro, right? And what I mean is like what Kevin Samuels did, his relationship with his daughter, I should say. Uh, Obviously, he died before she could actually get older. So all she knew about him was what she experienced, and what she experienced wasn't good, right? Um, I'll tell you this, just me personally, and I know anecdotal stuff doesn't, cause the general, but still, I didn't have a great relationship with my father when I was younger. We went through a lot of different things, and we both, men, me and him, obviously, but I found when I got older that it was because I didn't want to do a lot of the things that he was trying to have me do. I didn't want to listen to him. My mom actually helped shield me from a lot of that. And it's funny because she actually told me that she wished that she wouldn't have. And I wish that she wouldn't have either. But we ended up having me and my father were like best friends, now, for not just now, like the last 10, 15 years. But anyway, that's just personal. Going bigger than that is that when you talk about people who follow Kevin Samuels, right? When you follow anybody, this is what I mean by it's bigger than just that. Usually you just agree with the parts that make sense to you, right? If somebody says 10 different things and you agree with 3 of those things and they saying it, they hitting hard with it, right? Then that's all you care about. Everything else you willing to dismiss or let slide because they doing or saying something that you totally agree on. And we all do it with people. Like, I mean, it's the same way that people do with, I don't care if it's George Washington or Thomas Jefferson. They were slave owning, rapists, pedophile, assholes, right? But they started America. Or if it's people who agree with even Cynthia G. Most of the stuff she said about men is unfortunately correct. But still, when she say crazy ass shit, like we should just abort every damn male, this baby that's a male before they even born just because they men, that's crazy. But you still put that aside and agree with the rest of it. That's what these red pill men are doing with Kevin Samuels. Like they're taking the parts that they agree with and they're all standing on that. And everything else they don't agree with or they think is weird, they just gonna let that shit slide. And that's how we do with a lot of different things in this world. But that's all I really have to say about it.
Well said. Well said.
And Torch, I got one thing to say. Last night I had watched Precious on Tubi. I know that's a fucked up, sad, traumatic movie and all, but I'm seeing how Precious dad, how he essayed her and got her pregnant not only once but twice. My thing is, a lot of these red pill guys, they kind of remind me of Precious dad. If they could do the same shit with their daughters and get away with it, they would have. But I'm not speaking for, because there are good men in our community too. But most of the time, when the good men talk about stuff like SA, femicide, and all that, they get called simps. They say they panders. I don't believe a lot. I don't believe majority of the shit the manosphere say because it's bullshit if you ask me.
It's just sad and traumatic for these children. If a man is so deep in red pill that he hates women, he should just stay away from the women. And the women, y'all need to protect your wombs.
And
You
stay
risk
away from
having
young
these
girls
children
too.
with these men who are absolute garbage. And these men, if they're listening, dudes, you think this is about you and your time and your comfort and your freedom to come and go like nothing depends on you. But let me tell you something. Every time you choose yourself over your children, you're not just making the decision, you're building something inside of them. You're building questions and doubt and wounds that don't even have the words for that trauma yet. Because children don't understand neglect the way adults do. They don't say, my father is selfish. They say, something must be wrong with me. And that right there is the beginning of the trauma. It shows up in how they love and how they trust and how they settle, how they question their own worth in rooms where they should feel safe and comfortable. You think you're missing out on moments, but you're missing out on their milestones. You're missing the chance to be the voice that steadies your legacy when the world gets too loud for them. And one day they're going to grow up, and they may not be angry the way you expect. They'll be distant. They'll be detached because they learn how to live without you. And that's the part you don't see coming right now. The day your absence stops hurting them and starts defining you. This isn't about being the perfect dad. It's about being there. It's about being present. It's about choosing over and over again to show up for the people who did not ask to be here, but needed you once they were. Because the truth is simple. You don't just raise children, you shape the people they become. So dudes, y'all need to ask yourself, what are you leaving behind? Because it won't be just memories. It'll be the way your children, your legacy carry themselves long after you're gone.
Let's listen to a little bit of Cynthia G. Here we go.
Black women, you need to stop thinking that you can exorcise the demons out of these bandits. You cannot. If they're telling you that they're demons, if they telling you they ain't shit, if they acting like a demon, then you should believe them. You should believe them.
Amen.
You just can't be doing it. But I'm gonna be locked in. The moral of this story is, if you are a white woman, please stop fucking with black men, because like you gotta be a strong black woman to defeat black demons like us. Okay, like you just can't.
Yes, he's talking about himself. Yes, he is.
You know, and at 2K, you be shooking and jiving like a motherfucker. I get in, I get out. I get out, baby. It is what it is. She got an option in life. I don't know why the fuck she. Come on, baby, it's just dick, man. Go get you some good credit, man. Go get you some good credit.
It's just dick. Are we gonna pretend like all they have to offer ain't just dick? Cause it surely ain't they nice attitude. They ain't built nothing, don't got no resources. This is another black man, because y'all saw the video I showed y'all earlier. Here is another black man saying, look, all we got is dick to offer you. And he's saying she got other options. Now, he knows that black women are going to dedicate themselves to black men. He knows that black women don't feel like they got other options. So while he will tell this woman of no color, why are you slumming with these black demons, these ain't shit niggas, when you got other options?
Not to mention he said the same thing. He said he likes to get in and out himself.
She said it.
Black women
believe him the first time. When the man shows you who he is, believe him the first time, because every other time after that, it's just extra confirmation.
Bars.
Options, and they won't think you got options until you show them you got options. But not only do you not have options, but the only thing they can offer you is dick. That's why he said it's just dick. It's just dick.
I'm playing with Craig. Nigga named Craig, for God's sake. What? Like, what did you expect from a nigga named Craig? All right. But y'all, it is what it is. It is what it is, G. Black women, I also tell y'all to leave black men alone. Y'all don't like pink meat. That's what y'all tell me all the time. So I guess y'all fucked. Y'all stuck. You're stuck with us. Whatever.
Ain't that black?
Hey, but I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, man.
It's that they only want black men. Most of the time, unfortunately.
Black women just has a high loyalty rate to black men, but that's not the only
That's
option out
that's what
there.
I was trying to say, but I hadn't got to that yet. But you're right. But
I
the
say,
state is
ladies, when a man show you who he is, he's providing clarity. The mistake we make as women is when we try to start explaining away what he did instead of just accepting it. The mistake isn't his actions. He did what he did. Our mistake as women is when we make excuses and try to explain.
But you gotta think about it. It's also bad when we as black men, we are also choosing bad women too. So but
When you reap
yeah,
what you sow,
it
you pick the
sucks.
wrong
It
choice.
sucks
You
either
reap
way.
the whirlwind. So if you pick the crazy chick that's gonna key your car and break your windows and spend all your money and stalk your new girlfriend not long after you break up with them, you reap what you
Some
sow.
black men pick bad black women just like they pick bad white and other bad non-black women too. So
It happens, but see, the burden falls on the woman because a lot of these do-good dudes leave them with children. Black men who pick the bad black women or to pick the bad women, period, they usually walk away scot-free. Even if they have children with the crazy woman, they still walk away from that. They don't claim responsibility. They just walk
but
away.
you gotta
The
think
woman
about
is
it.
stuck with the child.
A lot of these women got kids with multiple men, and with them having that many kids with multiple men, they didn't have those same expectations for the previous child father or fathers in that case either.
But
All
these
right.
men
Why?
still walk away. She
Why
had
seeking
babies when
knowledge?
you met her. She had babies when you left her. And if they can get away with not claiming those babies, they certainly do. And when child support hits them, oh, they got to go online crying. They got to be telling how unfair it is. You know what's coming. You don't have to stick your hand in the oven to know that the oven is hot and will burn you.
Bars and bars again. Why seeking knowledge says this. They figure if they all are dysfunctional in numbers, there's nothing we can do about it becomes the precedent. So basically what she's saying is that, well, if there's so many men that are just like bandits, then that's the precedent. And if black women are so loyal to their men, guess what? Sooner or later, the banditry is inevitable.
And then they want to get mad when you start looking outside of black men. You're not being loyal. You're not keeping it in the community. Right. Give me something to choose from. I have a good credit score. I just want you not to be in debt. Give me something to choose from.
And he can't have, yeah, you don't want nobody with a criminal record either. So
I tell you what, people say it's unlikely for black women, but I didn't see some Asian men that's looking pretty good right about now.
And then again, with the criminal record, I can understand if he got arrested for something and he was exonerated, or if he was smoked a little pot and got caught with it in his system. Yeah, but stuff like DV, MRDR, and stuff like that, no.
I can smell a dusty a mile away when I go out, and they still try to holler. And when you don't respond to it, because they don't come to you correct, they say some crass stuff. Like, hey, you looking so sexy. When you looking like those thighs are so juicy, I can just bite them. You can smell a dusty a mile away. And when you don't respond to them, when you don't give them that same gutter energy back, oh, you think you better than me? No, I don't think I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. Please get out my face. Security, Dusty, get this dusty away from me.
Wisdom says, it's like accepting living with roaches. Bars. Yeah.
So, DJ, I'm sorry, I just want to say just real quick, I want to go back on what Concrete was saying earlier about men having children and not being in their lives. What I've seen is that if there's a man that has multiple children, hell, I don't care if you got one, right? But if he has children, he was in their lives, he can give a shit going and stuff fizzle, right? When you get older, all of us have seen this. The older we get, especially when you get into them. I mean, I'm 37, but I can already see it. When you start getting into your 50s and 60s, and your closest family and friends start to pass away, right? You don't have anything close to you. You're not married or have a, even if you are married, but let's say you're not married, you don't have anybody close to you like that, right? You want some kind of human connection. And you can't just go out there and just make friends just to do it, especially with that kind of depth that you're really looking for. But you always gonna have that in your children. And what I've seen is that these men who will get in their 50s and 60s and 70s, especially when they get them late 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? They'll go back and try to create a relationship with the children who they neglected for decades because they have nothing else. And guess what? They'll be actually sincere about it a lot of the times. They'll be the most fucked up deadbeat dad ever from the age of 20 to 50. But at 55, they will be dedicated. They'll be all in their kids' lives, all in their grandkids' lives, giving money to them. They just want to get invited over. They just want to be a part of the family because they realize like life wasn't about chasing all the vagina you can get. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still chase that shit now in your 50s and 60s and 70s if you want. Especially if you got some money in your pocket. Somebody gonna give it up. But that's not what it's about. You want that connection. And they go after it. And if they can realize that when they're younger and they start having these kids, it'll just make their life that much better. You know? But that's all I wanted to say about that part.
I
We got to
appreciate
pull the
that.
ladies back up in there too. Ladies, you need to be clear, you need to be observant, and you need to be willing to walk away. You don't instantly need a man. What's the rush? Because the truth is, these dusties tell on themselves, and it usually happens pretty early, but not necessarily like telling on themselves in word, but with patterns. They're inconsistent, they're irresponsible, they create chaos. They want access to you without making any real effort. But instead of leaving, too many women start negotiating with what they already saw. They start accepting things that weren't acceptable before. So just avoid these dudes by trusting what you see in them the first time. Ignore the apology. Don't be thinking about the potential. Look at the pattern. Because these men need to be men, not when it's convenient, but all of the time. You don't need a man. Observe what kind of man is trying to get into your life and make the correct decision from patterns and in your observations.
Bars. I like to bring to the stage Yolando's Seeking Knowledge.
Hello, everyone.
Hey!
I finally made it to the panel. I just couldn't sit in the wings this particular time. There were a lot of things that were said that kind of irked me a little bit. And this is a very important conversation that we have in this evening. I'm kind of glad I made it through. Ooh, this is kind of rough, and this is a big rough patch that we're having between men and women right here. And for us to be where we are and can't find our way out, this is very problematic. And this is one part where we need to make our way through. And I don't know how to do it. Hopefully we'll talk our way through this and find out. But I'm listening as far as willing to participate as well. So I'm just still sitting in the sticks.
Well said. Let's see what else this Dusty's gonna say. Here we go.
I might have another story tonight. I ain't gonna make.
Look at how superficial this is, because if he's saying, now mind you, he didn't say you don't like big dicks in anybody else. He said you don't like pink dick. So he understands the vanity that Black women are chasing. You're chasing vanity. He didn't say that you don't have options and you stuck with us because no other man wants you. He said because you don't like pink dick. Vanity. Chasing a skin tone. And all you getting out of that skin tone is dick, dust, and drama. That's all you getting. Another black man telling you black women, you should walk away. Because not only do he not got nothing to offer Beckisha, he ain't got nothing to offer you either. But because you're so bang, because you're so focused on blackness, you stuck with the bandits. And because you stuck with them, because you're not gonna go nowhere, because you're just gonna go chase after black dick, all you go get is black dick and heartache and drama and abuse and exploitation and being used. You go get the same thing their preferences are getting, because ain't nobody go get the next black, ain't nobody go get a better black man. None. But I'm not gonna skip past the fact that, and this black man probably didn't even understand what he was saying either. He probably didn't understand. He didn't catch the fact that he equated whiteness to a blessing. He could have said you're blessed because you got other men that you can go consider. You have productive men in your community. You have men that will commit. You have men that's more likely to marry you. He said your whiteness is your blessing. If her whiteness is her blessing, then your blackness have to be the curse in the subconscious mind of this bandit. And a lot of them feel that way. That's why they run around praising mixed kids. They run around praising women of no color, talking about it's a status upgrade, it's a social upgrade. This is what they feel about whiteness. It is a blessing. And I told y'all this. They look at the womb of a woman of no color as one that is going to wash off the curse of their blackness. They believe their blackness is a curse. You chasing after them for their blackness that they don't even want. They're mad at you because you are replicating the curse of their blackness. They don't want to be born with this curse. They feel like it's a curse. They hate their blackness. You're chasing vanity. All you getting is dick and heartache. This is the result of the vanity.
Basically, I mean, that's hard to argue with. You can argue with Cynthia G as much as you want, but when you think about it, she is correct. A lot of men, they might hate Cynthia G, but they agree with her. You'd be surprised. They just, what it happens is that Cynthia G will say something, and then, like, for example, she will say that example, like, let's bring up the example about what she said about, black male babies, blah, 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 delete them and blah, blah, blah. But then if you remember, Dr. Umar, who is like, hates Cynthia G, will say something similar, like something like, well, some of these black men, these little black boys, we can't save them. We should take them out back and blah, blah, blah. And then it's funny, then Anton Daniels, who he says, oh yeah, but black women should be thrown out with the bathwater. He says it in a reversed way, but he's saying really the same theory.
Torch, the problem is, as fucked up as this situation is, a lot of black women are still gonna be stupid enough and choose that because they don't want to go to nobody else. Let's just keep it a buck here.
Well, we can't say stupid, but what we will say is too loyal. Let's put it that way. A loyalty to the point.
They see how those men treat women. And I hate that the good men, I hate that they the ones that get the bad end of the stick after all this shit hit.
But wait a minute. And you know what? That's one thing that I say too. I always make a plea for the good man. Okay? The problem with that is this good man, amount of good men is so small. He out there. But the suffrage of him is something to be mourned. I mourn for him because he is out there. But he is in such few number, and he have to bear the weight, of the reputation of those in huge number, because it's mostly these knuckleheads out here. we wouldn't have the bad statistics. We wouldn't have all these abandoned children and all these
Mhm.
single family homes. We wouldn't have all this desertion. We wouldn't have all these bad, experiences of women. We wouldn't have all this cheating. We wouldn't have all these STD rates. We wouldn't. The statistics back up the fact that all these men are out here, no good men. All these things back up that there are more men that ain't crap. And you got this little number of men. That's why when you hear the stories of the good men, it's like, oh, and everybody love them and pat them on the head for doing really what they're supposed to be doing. They get cookies for just being the man that they supposed to be, really. And we hold them in high regard, like, oh, good men, good men. That's really living like you're supposed to live. And we pat them on the head and give them a cookie for being a human like they supposed to be, and hold them in high regard just for being what they supposed to be. They get a whole cookie and a big piece of chicken and all this. Okay? But if that wasn't so profound like that, just for them being normal human, respecting another person that's in humanity with them and respecting them as they should, I mean, that for a male to actually do that, it's just like, oh, this big astronomical thing. We shouldn't even have to look at it like that. How did we get here? This is just absolutely ridiculous for us to be here in this time, in this space. I think a lot of it did have to do with the patriarchy and things like that, and us living in this society and us being colonized and things like that. When we were more communal creatures and things like that, and we had our own communities and situations, where we live, things were more spiritual and things, and there was more accountability. But once we adopted a more carnal system, where there was no accountability, and the man, he was just a man because he had brute strength. We have adopted a society that came from caves, where they was proud to just say they beat a woman over the head with a club and drug her back to the cave, and that was his woman. Okay, that's where they come from, all the way down. We've humanized a whole lot, but basically, you know what I mean? We're coming from that has a Neanderthal gene. Look how it subjugated us in slavery. Look how, so we carrying on the society of those who did that. We're not following our own principles. So we have to learn how to pick through those things and not accept those things and accept them onto ourselves. But we have done just that. Okay? And because they blame it all the time on the white man. Look, some of that probably is some PTSD and things like that. But we have to find our way out of it and learn how to respect our women, our queens, and see the basis of where we at. We were the original creatures of this earth before that thing exited those Caucasus Mountains and tainted and poisoned the water, the land, everything, and poisoned us too. We have to learn how to get the poison out of ourselves and restore ourselves. Because this is about enough. And once we realize what the problem is, we have to learn how to fix it. Okay, because we're dying here to the point where we can't tolerate each other. And we have to figure this out.
Is that Yolanda? That's why seeking knowledge, right? I'm sorry. I didn't know. Oh, okay. Listen. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. That was beautiful. And he's exactly right. It's something we don't never really get into. But we talked about this at our last Saturday, I think, kind of like us being bred here for hundreds of years and centuries, and we've beyond adopted. We've adopted it. It's been injected into us. It's in our American DNA. This shit. So 100% agree with everything. But I'm sorry, DJ. I just wanted to say about what you were saying earlier about Umar and Cynthia G. I can't stand Umar, right?
Right.
Can't stand him. Yeah, I'm not. But you know why? I didn't just start. I really respected this guy at one point. I thought he was being serious, But I do disagree on what you said about the comparison. Just because when Umar, I remember when he made that statement about taking out, he believed that 10% of these little ignorant Negroes in the black community are unreachable and they should probably just be put to sleep, right? And when that was a big thing when a lot of people heard that, like you know, because they were, you tripping all this other stuff. You know, okay, I understand tripping. But at least he was talking about after they've already shown what they are and that they can't be stopped. I mean, you see these dudes like it's all you or just go to YouTube, you can see these guys in court getting sentenced to life in prison for killing somebody and they in court laughing and talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these dudes don't give a shit, man. They're up here shooting up picnics, hitting little babies. Just ridiculous shit. So I'm not saying that Umar, you know, we should just kill these little people, but I'm saying at least he was talking about after they've shown that they are just fucked up people who don't care about anybody. They don't even care about themselves if they're doing that kind of shit. But
No,
simply,
I believe what her theory is that, and I can't really tell you exactly because I'm not her, but her point is this: is that black women, you know, bear black men, and in doing so, when these men grow up, unfortunately, statistically, there's a high probability a lot of these men are going to turn on their own mothers or turn on women. And that was her point, was saying, like, why have somebody who's going to grow up and treat
kill
you horribly?
Yes, and kill you. They are our biggest apex predator.
no,
And that's
yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying though. And see, this is why I'm always like with this part, right? Because one, do you know what would happen in that scenario in real life? Like, if that were to even happen, like, and black women think that they are in trouble now, they would be completely diminished. If you destroyed all the black men before they was even born just because they was men, and you think that they your number one enemy, now it's just a community full of women, what women are left at that point after they wouldn't reproduce on black men, they would just get gobbled up and destroyed. Who would protect them? Who would even care about them?
you know what, and that's where you know what to the point where that's what hey, that's what Easy A said at the end of that. Nobody moved, nobody get hurt, everybody out. That's how it turns out. That's where women at now. It ain't got that bad, and it's not. Listen, wait a minute. It's not just black women. This birth rate is dropping worldwide in critical numbers. That's how big of a problem men have been toward women. It is not. We can point the finger at black women because that's what we care about right now, and that's what we're talking about. And I understand that. This patriarchal thing is a problem worldwide. Okay? So men just ain't getting it. What is it? Y'all so tough on this chest banging, ooga ooga me, man, gotta be man, rule over something. Okay? Come on. You can't be a man unless you chest bang and dominate over something. Y'all got to get over that. The oligarchs got that. They rule over all us. And y'all want a piece of something to rule over to, and it has to be us. And we ain't going no more. They have made a way where we have to get an income and do all this stuff too. So it's like, wait a minute. I'm working all day long. I'm not going to be your slave too when I come home. Not doing it. I'm a human being too. I got rights. I got things. I'm not doing this here. And since that paradigm shift like that, men just repeat, well, wait a minute, I'm a man. That mean, no, I'm not your slave. I'm not going to be it. And they're not identifying with that. And they still feel like they just still these roaming creatures. I mean, they just have not progressed into society how it is today. They want to go back to the 50s. Who wants to not progress and grow with societal, the shift of society and where it's grown to in this day and age? They want to run back into the past. You know, you snatch a nigga's PS5 and give him the first Nintendo that came out, he'll sit there and holler and cry and throw it and don't want to play with it. But then he want to go back to the 50s where his grandmama at, and then great grandmama, as far as relationships go. Get out of here. That don't, I mean, it's not making sense. I'm sorry, go ahead. I mean,
Oh no, that was perfect.
But it doesn't make sense.
I'm going to play this next clip. Here we go. By the way, bars.
All right, Cam. So let's get this straight. Cam Newton, you was somebody was recording you off their phone, and you was arguing with a bunch of teens and letting them know that even though they was picking at you because you never won an NFL championship ring, but you let them know that you have a big bank account. Excuse me, you're supposed to have a bigger bank account than teenagers. And it came across as lame, bruh. Because Cam Newton, last time I checked, why are you arguing with teenagers? And we're talking about you have a bigger bank account than them with teenagers? Bruh, everybody know you got money, man. Let it go. Let it go. That was lame to me. I didn't like it.
Shout out to Ms. Flozart.
Like it just seemed like it was petty. And for you to take the time out, if you on such a level and you feel the need, they got to you. That's what it showed me, is that them teenagers got to you and they hit a soft spot. Usually when you hit a soft spot with somebody, then they feel the need to respond. But if you're not, one of the biggest things that you can do to let people know that what you say don't matter is don't even respond. So I have this. Okay, you rich. You say you rich. Your bank account big. But let's get with the story. So you're suing your ex-girlfriend, Kia Proctor, over a 2017 Bentley. Now let's break this down. Cam Newton won his Bentley back. The rich man, the rich black man, whose account bigger than teenagers. The former NFL quarterback recently filed court documents demanding his ex-girlfriend return the luxury ride. Now, he dated Kia Proctor from 2013 to 2019, and they have 3 sons and a daughter together.
Yeah.
Now, according to the court documents obtained by Radar Online, the former Carolina Panthers star said that there's a dispute over a 2017 Bentley Bottega he allegedly purchased in May 2018 under his sole name. He also claims he allowed her to use it while they were in a romantic relationship. In 2019, the relationship ended and Proctor moved out of Cam Newton's house. And
she, just to remind you, she moved out because he had a child outside of their relationship. It wasn't like, she said, let me make it clear. It wasn't like she just said, oh, well, I'm done and left. No, she just got tired of, she didn't get caught up about the cheating. She got tired of the cheating. He had always probably cheated on her, just pretty much like all the other dudes be cheating on them like Diddy and shit.
A part of the move out process, he allowed her to use the car to move her things out of his house. Now, this is your baby mama. Your baby mama that you have 3 children, 3 sons and a daughter. And yet you this rich nigga, they got all this money. You richer than teenagers who you want to, make sure you let it be known that you got a big bank account, but yet you suing the mother of your 4 children over a 2017 Bentley Bottega? Come on, Cam. Cam, you rich. Let your baby mama have that car. Why you big mad?
He breaks it down. He breaks it down perfectly. And see, the thing is that that's the concern I have, ladies and gentlemen, because here's a man. It's not that he's actually that Cam is acting up on YouTube. The problem is that he's drawing in, like Kevin did, like other red pillars did. He's drawing more men in by his dysfunction. Oh, let me see. Let me play this right here.
As long as I've been with Jazz, Jazz has not been the only person that I've had sex with.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Like packing.
So he cheated on Jasmine too. That's what he just said, right? Let's clear that up. Remember, this is the same man who was dissing Kendra G for being single. Listen to this.
As long as I've been with Jazz, Jazz has not been the only person that I've had sex with.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
you know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag.
Damn! Stop treating people like the help.
Y'all, from baby daddy drama to Instagram breakdowns,
didn't
Jasmine Brown
he
and
have
Cam Newton's
another
story has turned
child
into
after
full-blown
he was with her
chaos.
too?
Everyone knows Cam is about to introduce his new woman just as Jasmine is heavily pregnant.
I mean, he's spoiled.
So, did you all hear that? Okay. So this is I didn't know he did it twice. Okay. When Kia was pregnant, I guess he had another woman pregnant and a one night stand or something like that, right? And now then he moves on and I guess he gets with Jasmine, right? Jasmine gets pregnant. And while Jasmine is pregnant, he makes another woman pregnant at the same time. Let me rewind this a little bit. Maybe I got this misunderstood.
I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, unpacking his bag.
Damn! Stop treating people like the help.
Y'all, from baby daddy drama to Instagram breakdowns, Jasmine Brown and Cam Newton's story has turned into full-blown chaos. Everyone knows Cam is about to introduce his new woman just as Jasmine is heavily pregnant.
I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriend.
So the other woman wasn't pregnant yet, I guess. But he literally dumped Jasmine after making her pregnant.
And can you imagine the PTSD that gives you of trusting somebody, loving somebody, hoping that it works, you know, to get dumped and you're actually producing their child, their seed like that, to see them move on and you were just nothing but garbage to them to be discarded that way, to have a residual of them that you must raise. And that is always a reminder, and you always have to deal with them for years. Women have to go through this. And then they always, you know, always criticizing us the whole time, saying that we did something wrong. And all. I mean, I'm so tired of the narrative. I mean, look, the money doesn't wipe the dust off these characters either. They can have all the money, and they just as dusty as Ray Ray from the hood. The same dust exists way up there with all that money. The dust never leaves them. What they say, you can take a ninja out the hood. To see these same characteristics still play out with all that money, and these kids suffer. What did Miss Flozart say? For the car that's 10 years old, they still playing the same power moves. I'm gonna take my car back, take my stuff. I remember being younger, and I remember hearing men say, I just left. And they divorced their woman. I didn't take nothing out the house. I ain't even take one thing. They ain't even take so much as a toaster. And they left that woman with them kids, but they left everything. And they would brag about that. Man, I just left. I ain't taking nothing. I ain't taking nothing. Now these fools, I took the TV. I took barely everything I paid for. I took out that. Sound like little crybabies. I took everything on my stuff. And they call themselves men for real. And they pump their chest like they more men than those men were back in that day and time. You know, you hear that more often these days. It's just really where this has turned into these days. It's really sick and sad to see.
I agree. Wisdom says something clean. I wish women would go back to being divas and making men bow down. What happened? I mean, you might as well. I mean, that's better that than having to deal with what Jasmine is dealing with.
Friends about there, I was like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten.
And y'all, it's turned into a full-blown circus. A live morality play unfolding right in front.
I guess feminine, friendly, and submissive doesn't work. Because he put a baby in her. She was all submissive and shit. And she blinked and he was already out the door.
Front of us through podcasts, social feeds, and endless online chatter. The whole situation has exposed the sharp contrast between the glossy image they try to sell and the raw, messy reality happening behind closed doors. Honestly, it feels like watching a woman publicly surrender to a man whose track record already screams trouble. All while
Y'all brought that up. Y'all brought that up. Ghost, everybody brought it up. I mean, it's you see who you getting. You know, wisdom, give me back my chain. Wait, Concrete, your mic is off.
Oh, I was
there we
just
go.
saying, I don't have no love for Cam. We can go round and round in circles. He got champagne taste with Kool-Aid thinking. He got all that money and still can't afford a clue. He's rich in dollars, but bankrupt in common sense.
Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all. Hey, look, ladies out there.
So, BJ, hold on. I just want to say with that part, what Concrete was saying, talent does not make you a smart person, but talent, if you understand that you have talent, right? The only smart thing about that, about people like, and I shouldn't say because I don't know this dude personally, right? But just from what we're talking about, the only smart thing that Cam Newton really ever understood and used to his advantage was that he did have a natural talent for something, and he exploited it as much as he knew how to, and it did make him millions of dollars. Now, if he would have been smarter than just that, he could have probably made 10 times more of the money. I mean, you look at somebody like Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z, obviously one of the top rappers of all time. Is he the best? Who knows? But him being worth basically $3 billion, it was beyond just understanding his talent was worth something. And you see this with a lot of different people in different aspects of, business or whatever. But Cam represents that one portion, which is the majority of these people, who they just had talent, and they was good enough and smart enough to get to the professional level of their talent without doing something dumb where they couldn't do it, criminal type stuff or just ridiculous stuff. But no, outside of that, he don't have no, you know, he said it himself. He was like, them NFL checks ain't the same. It ain't nothing like, no, nothing is ever going to be like them NFL checks, Cam. Unless you do something that's like just as big as making it to the league is in that field. And that's what he's trying to do in this lane. But yeah, he thinks like he's just a regular nigga from the hood, though. And that's how a lot of these dudes think. Some of them just think better than other ones do, and some of them actually do advance, But nah, Cam, he's just an example that the money don't change the way you think. That cliche is a cliche for for a reason. You can take a motherfucker out the damn hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. You can do that with anybody's background in that way. But
Well, it's
that's
been
all.
glamorized. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. But it's been glamorized. But I mean, if you think back on it, the white man, he can look and see his glory, whether he contributed to it or not. I mean, you can look at the big buildings downtown. You can look at the parks. You can look at the infrastructure. He can claim, a piece of that just because he's white in the color of his skin. Black men didn't have any of that. So the things that they claimed was pimping and drug dealing and being, in the grandiose of themselves. And one of those things were the subjugation of their own women, pimping and yeah, I got girls. I run through 30 women and this and that. So they never really lost that, and even it's sad to say that even though they still went to higher society with, going to play ball and making all this money, they still never, that still is a status symbol amongst our men. Once they still made it, then they can afford different flavors and groups and exoticals and things. So they still want a myriad of women to run through and subjugate. So we don't see that change where they become wise, and settle, with one woman or whatever, and actually have a better lineage. They don't pay into their lineage. They still want to think with the southern, region of their brain, their secondary brain that's below the belt line. They never have a higher chakra, the blue one that's northern. So they never visit that one. They dwell in the one that red one in the waistline area. And that's sad that they never graduate to a higher one, them claiming to be these logical leaders that we should follow. It's hard to follow someone who is demanding sex. I remember listening to this guy, a clip of this guy on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. His wife was going through cancer treatment. She was going through radiation. He told her she better give it up every day. She better give it up or she know what's going to happen. And she was going suffering, tired. I had aunties that went through that stuff. They could drag themselves in that bed after they came back home. They looked at that as an accomplishment. But he was on TV talking about, she know what's going to happen. I have to have it every day. I just, for somebody to be so solely led by that lower chakra right there is just, and are you supposed to lead me? This is so sad. That is what we're dealing with here. We don't have a higher ascended creature to deal with, and they are proud to admit this strongly with the whole chest. These are problems. These are problems. And when I speak on this, they hate it. I get screamed at just as bad as Cynthia G sometimes. I get hated real bad. But they never want to address the things that I speak of and talk about because they are realities. They want to live right here because it's cool to them and they make their whole chest just pump out and look real good. And they want to walk around like peacocks, female peacocks, and the colorful ones. But they don't want to address these issues and what we're actually dealing with here. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You can have a millionaire, but he's still got a minimum wage mindset. So it goes back to just being observant, He can be financially elite, but intellectually he's still on layaway. You have to watch and pay attention to those patterns. So it's not our job as women to save these men.
Bars.
Our job is to protect ourselves.
But one thing I do believe, though, it is our job collectively to find out what this problem is so we can move forward. And this is another thing that I get a lot of clapback on. I do not believe that our males are totally lost creatures. I have seen us as Black women, if I may separate us, Goldman and Sachs wanted to give us these big grants, and they was having to fit. Black women have been the highest degree holders out of anybody in this nation. That's one reason why these white men got so mad and pulled all the grants. Okay, we have been the most, just taking care of it, even without them dragging us, dogging us out, getting all the jobs, getting, and taking care of the home and the family structure and things like that. We still got bad statistics. We still got, we still not living to our best potential without the male, which means we're not going to fully make it without them. And they definitely not. They still got the highest incarceration rates. They still out here super spreading. They still out here, They still flipping and DLing and stuff like that. So let me finish. I still don't believe we're not going to totally make it without each other. We still need each other. I think that's the key. I don't think, forget that, we don't need them, and they will forget that we don't need her. That's not true. I just don't believe that's not true. I still think we need each other. So I do believe that there's something to be said about us really, we need to solve this. We need to solve these issues that we have. We need to find out what needs to be repaired in them, and we need to heal everything that they have broken in us. And we need to repair those things, and we need to come together as we should. We would be a force that could not be dealt with if we can do that. If we can repair these things, we have had these people scrambling. You hear me? You know how many COs with would be without jobs. How many judges? How many white attorneys? These public defenders. I mean, this would throw their economical base off. The votes, the electoral college. They put these jails all out in these suburbs. That would throw the voting off for all the white people. I mean, it would be something else. It would throw this whole. Listen, we fuel them so much with our dysfunction. All the grants they get, oh yeah, in these black neighborhoods, all this money that's getting forked over to them for our dysfunction. If we got it right, we'll humble them so bad. We need to learn how to do this. We need to do this.
Saved though. That's not really a clapback. I'm just gonna be real frank with you right now. I've been MIA for a while. Y'all haven't seen me up here. I just popped up the other day. I'm gonna be real frank with you. There are good black men. I got 2 brothers, one older, one younger. They are good black men. DJ is here. I know he worked hard on his job. He got manners. He's a good black man. But you can't save people who don't want to be saved. I was gone because my mother became sick and she started to die. And I had to be by her side because her husband, my father of over 52 years, they've been married, did not call her, did not see her. They weren't divorced. They lived in the same house. The day she got sick and went to the hospital was the day I had to step in for this good black man who stayed married to my mother, who raised 3 kids that will not talk to him today because I put my mother in the ground last week. You cannot save a man who does not want to be saved. My mother poured her life into this man who left her to die. 3 kids. I do well for myself. I make 6 figures. I live in a nice house. But that man cannot be saved, and it is not my job to save him. Where do you draw the line?
I hear what you're saying. But, I guess I figured I would never say this because it reeks my nerves when I hear men say this. But I'm going to pull the card today and I'm going to say, not all. And they say this every time. I think there's nothing wrong with putting a narrative out, just like planting seeds. Okay, if you plant some seeds, some going to fall on concrete and some going to fall on fertile ground. But I don't think the seed should not be put out there. And I understand what you're saying too. Look at the majority. Like I said, we would not fall into the situations we fall in. Most of them are bad fruit. And we know this. We would not be dealing with the situations we're dealing with if it was not the majority of them that are bad fruit. It's just plain and simple as that.
I don't even think it's the majority.
But
of
at the
them.
same time, I do.
That's the loudest. I don't think it's the majority of black men. I think it's a few that are driving us into the ground because they're loud and they want to be online. They want to be seen. They want credit. They want to flaunt what they don't have. It's just a few. Like I said, I got good brothers. I got good family. There's good black men that come here all the time that stand up for women. It's not them all. It's not all. And it's not most.
I guess that's going to be a point where we just disagree at because the statistics don't support that. It really don't. It don't support that one. And usually when people do counter something like that, they go personal every time. When I talk to men and they counter that, they say I don't have, and my people and my brothers and my sisters or whatever. And you can't counter argument with statistical data and things like that and how things are in the community and stuff like that with a personal rebuttal. That don't fix it with people personally. We all are just like a grain of rice in the ocean. And that cannot justify how conditions are in the ocean.
We got some dusties out there, but I don't have any in my circle because that's who I choose not to be around.
Yeah, that's right.
I go to the hood, I hang out, I shop, I support black businesses. I see the dusties. I'm not bringing them home. I'm not giving them my number. And it's not my job to save them.
And I understand, but we do have a vested interest in, well, maybe not you in particular, but I do believe that would be something that would be good for our race and our community, just like we had the Black Panthers too, and they just didn't want to feed their particular children, but they figured it was good for their community. We don't have a sense of community anymore, and apparently this has been killed. For me, I do have a sense of community, and I'm in my older years. I mean, this won't be something that I probably would see, but I would like to see in our future generations that they get this particular thing together for the survival of us and our race. Past
But it
me,
starts at home.
some
You got
type
to
of
take care of
legacy
your
type of
kids.
thing.
Cam Newton having
Well,
all these
yeah, of
kids.
course, that's where it starts, but it would have a seed would have to be planted in more than just my family. And that's what I'm saying. If these discussions are here and they're being had, okay, and maybe people can come together somewhere in their mind and realize these things are being said, and it hits, it strikes somewhere, and people, begin to identify what's being said and actually move forward. This even something that small. I doubt if it's something that could start here on this panel, but we just don't know that. Maybe ideas will begin to change or something like that. We don't know. But I do believe that, I haven't lost total hope in us. I still hope that we can get this together because we have too many opposing factors for it to be us too. And I do think that there's much ground that we still could carry if we get together.
We can't talk about nobody. We can't talk about the dust on nobody else's porch until we sweep our own off.
And that's one thing that I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I'm looking at us as a communal thing. And that's what and I'm looking at us as a communal thing. And you're looking at us like personal, just you.
Because how can you affect the community if your personal is not in check?
But maybe if your person is in check, you can look at the community then. Once you sweep your porch, then you get to looking at the block and say, hey, there's a can down the street and there's this and that. Okay, so I'm not getting this.
No, that's it. That's perfectly it.
Okay,
right there.
Thank you. All right. So if your porch is clean, then you can do that. If your porch is clean, then you recognize things on the block.
All right, I got this other clip. Here we go.
We are ready for our final real one with my final king. Come on in for his queen. Hello there, my buff brother.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
All
Welcome to a real one. Would you share with these lovely ladies your name, your age, and what you do?
My name is T, 40 years old. I own my own dump truck business.
Very good. Okay, what would you say makes you a real one?
Man, I'm from the street.
Oh, here we go, y'all.
So I work out daily, and I just keep it real, man. That's
I can
about
tell
it.
you work out daily. I can't tell you from the streets, but I can tell you work out daily. What would you say you're looking for in a real one?
This right here, man. Snow bunnies.
Oh, you like the white women?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's why you're here, and I'm happy to have you here. Now, let's go for this. In relationships, there are heartbreakers, deal breakers, red flags. What's something you wouldn't tolerate in a relationship?
Shout out to New Dawn in the house.
Don't date black women.
Well, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with a deal breaker. So can you focus on qualities, not color, but qualities you don't like?
Okay, well, I don't like a loud woman.
Okay.
White women are quiet. Black women are loud.
Once again, I don't need you to mention or disrespect black women. There's loud women in every culture. So can you move forward without mentioning race or ethnicity or?
Okay, so.
This is really, I mean, you see how he's dressed and you see how picky he's being. Here we go.
And that's almost a nice little B cup.
Wait, say again?
And that's almost a nice little B cup he's sporting there in the front.
Right?
Okay.
White women, they listen. Black women don't listen to me.
I don't. Okay, if you're going to be disrespectful.
Notice how he said, listen to him. Those are some smart black women, if you ask me.
To black women, then I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Okay, so I didn't mention color.
Okay.
So give me a quality. So you don't like loud.
Yes.
You want a submissive woman.
Yes.
You have one more.
Yes.
Without color.
I like nice hair. Well, I could rub my fingers through it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
White women, hair silky. Black women, nappy wigs falling all off at the club. You know what I mean? Dry.
You're being disrespectful. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna ask you to.
Man.
And what's crazy is every black woman don't wear wigs and weaves. And a lot of the ones that do, they still wear their natural hair in between. So that's bullshit he's saying.
to leave if you can't be respectful.
Well,
so okay.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you.
If you can't,
I keep it real. All right.
Okay. It doesn't matter. That's not real. That's rude. And there is a
Not being
difference.
real,
Okay.
that's
So I'm
being
sorry, ladies. I tried to
fucking
get, but
stupid.
I mean, he really. At first, I thought it was a skit.
Unfortunately, that what a lot of black women who still want black men got to deal with. That's what a lot of black women got to deal with.
Yes,
And
exactly.
the other races of women that get those type of black men, a lot of them ain't go for that. But some of the ones that do, they don't like black women either, and those women wind up with biracial children, especially biracial daughters. They don't. If the mama don't like black women, most likely than not, the mama ain't gonna like the daughter, cause she is black passing.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot of black, biracial girls, and you should just hear them on YouTube.
Oh, I know. I be on TikTok. I know.
They mothers just really neglect them and dog them out, but they love the boys, but they hate the girls. And that's just really sad to see because they always leave them just like they do black women. It's sad until these toxic masculinities. If the toxic masculinity needs to be overturned, and it needs to be seen for what it is, what they're really doing, what's behind what they're really doing, instead of them thinking that that's a true form of manhood. They need to see how toxic it is, and it's not something to be played into. They need to realize what they're doing.
I mean, this is what's funny to me though. Let me put dude back on. Dude, Sigma only dates, non-black women too, but he even finds this guy ridiculous. So that's what's crazy. I mean, that's how bad it is. So Sigma, you don't agree with what he's saying about, only dating Sigma man, you mad, bro? You mad, bro? Let me see. Let's replay this again.
I don't need you to mention or disrespect black or in a real
right.
woman.
And he calls it keeping it real. Yeah.
Right here, man. Snow bunnies.
Oh, we like the white women.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why you're here, and I'm happy to have you here. Sure. Now let's go for this. In relationships, there are heartbreakers, deal breakers, red flags. What's something you wouldn't tolerate in a relationship?
I don't date black women.
So Sigma, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, go ahead. Just tell me I'm wrong. You can just tell me in the chat. You can just tell me in the chat, bro. Here we go.
Well, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, so 3. So he said I don't date black women. And 3, and was it 3? I thought I heard 3. But two women just said no, they're not down with that. Because they know that you're not with them because you like them, or there's something about them you like. They know that these white women know that you're with them because you hate yourself. That's basically what's going on.
If you hate the womb you exited into this earth from, something is wrong with that. And if you come straight out the hip saying that, then they can't deal with that.
Well, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with a deal breaker.
So it was 3 women.
So can you focus on qualities, not color, but qualities you don't like?
Okay. Well, I don't like a loud woman.
Okay.
White women are quiet. Black women are loud.
I don't need you to mention. He said white women are quiet. I seen a bunch of ratchet ass white women too, and some of them. I work at a retail store, and I be seeing them ratchet white women in there too.
What is it? White women are quiet. Black women are loud.
Where he went wrong at was just saying that was putting the color to it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if he's talking about, there are people, not even just, there are people that are quiet. And people that are loud, it's quiet men, quiet women, loud women.
Right.
Like when you start doing the whole, oh, it's white versus black, you just coming up with a bunch of nonsense. Like what matters is the skin color first, right? And then after that is the personality, which comes from what the general background is. And the reason why the skin color is first is because it's black dudes who prefer white women that's ratchet. They like white women who act like
Oh
black women.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's black men who like white women
I got
who
a
dress
cousin
black.
that's one of those wretched
Man,
white
I got a
women. She,
whole damn. We all of us got all of it. Kevin, come on now, dog. Like it's
I
black
know
men.
one that got
They
5
like,
mixed kids
hey,
with 5 different black men.
hold on, Kevin. Look, what I'm saying is like, it's white women out here who know that. First off, they know what they're going after. It's white women who act ratchet. They act black. They talk black. They dance, dress black. They do their hair and everything. Then they start talking shit like, oh, well, I ain't got to get the weave in or whatever it is, all that other nonsense. But their skin is white. And that's what turned the dude on. Then there's dudes who they need more than that. She can't just be white and act ratchet. She needs to be white and be white. Then there's dudes who need her to be white and affluent white and so on and so forth. And it means the opposite of that too. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, like it's not about her being loud, being black loud and white's not loud. It's just about he want white women, period.
Well, it's a lot of black men that I see. Since they've been left out of the patriarchy, they try to grab onto the essence of it and they try to grab onto the principles of it. So what they try to do is like the standards of it too. So they like the light skin, the long hair, the things like that. And how they judge us too. Oh, black is bad. They're just ghetto. White people say that, oh, black women, they're just loud, this and that. So they speak and quote these same principles that they do over there about their own women to feel inclusive and things over there. What they say about us, black men say about us too. You know, oh, they're men over there. As of late, the latest thing, oh, we're traditional men. They've been the furthest thing from traditional men than anything else. But they'll say everything over there to try to get this inclusiveness over there with them. Okay. And that's what I've seen. So they'll say anything they say over there to try to mirror them over there. So them attacking their women the same way white people do. They put all these black people there, there's black people that we know we can be further. We know we have sets that can be that way. But as a general, we're the most working people. Most of us work, most of us do, we're not this way. We go to church, we're the most God loving people in big sets. And I mean a lot of positive things, because you never hear those things. We got children that having double masters coming out of high school and stuff like that. You never hear that on TV. You don't see that. They don't put it in many media outlets, anything like that. You don't see anything positive, but you'll see the murders. You'll see, all the bad stuff. So that's just them repeating white talking points about us, them embodying them and trying to adhere with the white, patriarchal talking points against their own women.
Well said. We're gonna play a little bit more. It's kind of weird to me because he's more thuggish than I mean, just think about it. This dude's baby basically thuggish in my opinion. And I mean, to come on a show with a tank top on, I don't know if this is it can't.
It's a skit.
You think it's a skit?
I know it's a skit. It's been going around now for a couple of weeks. But what did they get the material to base the skit on?
Yeah,
it's a skit, but they didn't just pull it out the air. It's based on some truths.
Oh yeah, think about it. I mean, Tommy Sotomayor, whatever. How I can't pronounce his name. He's this in real life. Like this is a real life person. That's not a skit. That's an actual person who's told us for over 10 years now that I can think about it that no black women, yes to white women, or anybody else outside of the race, right? In real life. So yeah, that's all the material you need just from him, and it ain't just him. It's probably shit hundreds of other dudes online. I don't know, but he's probably the biggest one or one of the biggest ones. Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's not hard to see where they get this shit from, man. And this is some nonsense, man. Because like y'all were saying earlier, here's the problem. Like, not the problem, but the real truth is, I mean, but it's not just that black women are loyal to black men, right? Black men are still generally, more than generally, actually majority loyal to black women. But every race is like this, though. Like we are always going to choose ourselves first in every situation, even when it comes, especially, I mean, when it comes to the romantic partnership situation, it's going to come to that. Like we are the only ones, Black Americans especially, who have been so fucked out of that by being in this society for so long and being basically oppressed and pushed upon. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got freed in the 1865, whatever year it was, we was just free technically, physically. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they had already got most of us before that freedom physically, mentally, and spiritually, and that's what matters the most. You know, you don't have to keep a slave in a cage if that motherfucker ain't free in his mind. But once his mind is caged up and chained up, you can let his body free all day. We got problems that are beyond any of this. And that's why I do agree with what YC Knowledge was saying earlier. Like, it's not over for us, but it does take all of us, though. We need each other. Y'all probably, I know DJ probably like, oh, he go with this shit again, but I always say, like,
I catch it every time I stand up for men. I tell you, I get browbeat every time
yeah,
I
but
stand up for men too. Every time I catch it,
man,
both sides.
but you're right though, because every problem that you have, that's why I'm always quiet most of these shows, right? And I'm speaking these little bursts like this because this is a space for women, but at the same time, not just a space for y'all, but what y'all are saying is the truth between y'all. And yeah, I feel like I'm being attacked and black men and over exaggerated shit. I whatever. I just keep that to my damn self because this is y'all space. But at the end of the day, some things I just can't let go if I'm gonna be here, and we do need each other.
Okay,
Black
so let me jump in real quick. I do believe that we do need each other. The problem is,
Thank you. My point.
is
I got a double cosign. I'm good now.
yeah, it's on Mike. I got on Mike here. Sounds like you're eating something, but the issue is how do we get to? I mean, the problem is that there's so much going on bad that how do we get to a point where we can fix? I mean, again, it's to the point where do we save the good ones or do we die trying to save the bad ones? Because that's the problem. A lot of these men that are passing away by lead poisoning in the community, a lot of them tried to save the community. They were in the midst of trying to save the community, and it got so bad that they got taken out. A good example is
The Black Panthers.
yeah. And there's even a modern guy. Remember the guy who was a former rapper. Then he just kind of turned
Nipsey Hussle.
Who?
Nipsey Hussle.
Yes. You saw how they did him. I mean, he's a perfect example of somebody who said to himself, "We got
on you," but you can't be standing up for people who don't want to stand up for themselves. Just because you're challenged, don't mean you just need to sit it out.
Exactly. It's like we got a conundrum going on here.
Yep.
I mean, Yolando's is 100% right. It will take both of us. The problem is that both of us have to be on the same page.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because and Yolando's, you are right. If we do that, and really quite honestly, I'll be blunt. I mean, I know if men in our community, if we just all of a sudden said, you know something, we've had enough of this. And we just turned around and said, let's become productive. I don't care what you want to be productive in is, as long as it's legal. You are right. I mean, our whole, not just the community, our whole society would be better. If we could just go, if all the men that were causing havoc just said, I'm tired of it, I don't want to do this anymore, and genuinely did it and changed. Oh my God, Yolanda's what you were talking about would come to manifestation like that. I mean, I'm telling you, the problem is, how do we do that? Because you would think that the red pill might be a way to send that message, because it's really the biggest group of men, at least online. But you see the message, it's almost like, instead of sending the message on men, aren't you tired of this? Don't you want to be a better person? Instead of that being the message, what do? They go after women. So that's the problem. I agree. I mean, oh my God. I mean, Yolanda's, if we could find a way, maybe find some type of a juice or elixir that we can sneak into their drink to make them, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, it's like the spook that sat behind the door. We have to not, if we could just put that plan into action and to get them, if the men just even equally did what the women did. But see, I believe our things was birthed as a necessity. We were left with the children. We cried out to God, and it sparked us those little smiles that we love so much. We wanted to give them the best life, even though their dad was. So it sparked in us a move. For them, they don't have that. What they're relying on is their brotherhood. Yeah, dog, this and that, whatever. So it's not sparking them to move or do anything. They don't get the education. There's nothing to propel them that way. So they just sit stagnant, and they pride themselves on their kahunas and their chest bumping amongst one another, and they're not rising. Right. Okay, so they have to find a way past that to meet us where we had ascended to. If they did that, then we could meet up there, and they'd have a higher mindset, and we could trump out all these bad statistics, or they have a higher self-love and things like that. We have to get them to see the importance of where they are and see the toxicity of where they lie right now. And these, like I said, they are a bunch of good men. There are a bunch of good men that just sit quiet, like I said, because they will be attacked, and they don't want to be emasculated amongst those toxic men. Because the minute they speak out and say, "Man, we shouldn't do that," they're gonna be a sissy punk fag. Man, you're a fag. You talking that smack, this and that, women, this and that. They are going to be belittled and degraded in those avenues. They can't speak that way. And so I done seen them just turn their head away and don't say anything or whatever. They can't speak, but they do exist. They out there. They might not agree with them ideologically, but they can't speak and they don't speak, but they absorb in there, and they're absorbing these things, and they can speak their talking points back and forth too. So they're being indoctrinated too, silently, and they're adopting them. These young men are adopting them more and more, because that's the standard of manhood, and it becomes the standard of manhood. So it's getting worse and worse. But if they just I don't know what could propel them to adopt what women had to do to pull themselves up to even a higher level over them, when we live in a patriarchal society that mashes us down for us to supersede them that way. And I think they resent that too. And that's why they clap back at us. But if they could rise to the same level and join with us, we could be a force that they're not ready to deal with. It would cripple them. They would have to come up with new techniques to oppress us even, really, because so much of the society depends on our dysfunction. So much. It's so many rich, opaque people from our dysfunction. So many of them. The court systems, the jails, these private jails, all this stuff, they getting paid from our dysfunction. And the slavery, the jails are the only place that slavery is legal, is incarceration. They making bank off our dysfunction. But I couldn't do that though. I just had to take him out. Okay, so now 25 years of slavery. It's on
Right.
you. That's they making money and making you work for 25 cents an hour. And you got to pay for your room and board in the jail with that 25 cents an hour. You just a slave. Okay? But you couldn't take it. Yo, D&B, you know what I mean? Hey, it caused you to do this. That's toxic masculinity. It's not fit for your survival. It caused you, you know what I mean, to actually wreck your survival. Now, men have to be able to think like that. That's not a logical leader. They're selling this game that they're logical leaders. At the same time, they have to do the simple math. Okay? Their exponents and their, X plus Y is not equaling anything because they're not doing the math. They're just taking it carte blanche that they're the superior creature because they have testosterone. And they gotta stop doing that and make this stuff make sense before they move forward. Instead of just looking at a woman and blaming her for everything. The white man and the black woman, they fault, and I saying, hey, what am I doing? What are we doing? No, this is wrong.
Right.
If they just do that, we could actually move forward and go somewhere. But they gotta start doing that, or we'll stay right here, right? And they love it. They gobbling this stuff up. These the opaque people are gobbling it, and we have to stop. If we want this to end, we have to take accountability and change it.
Bars. I just want to add a little bit to that. This is a man and man issue. I think the women have done everything you need to do. I mean, to the point where Chase wanted to invest in you, and only because black men complain, they had to tone it down. Otherwise, you'd be getting a lot more money. See, America sees that black women are extremely productive and make money. These are Chase Manhattan. They're not. This is no civil rights group. They see what black women can produce and do. And there's a reason why they focused on only black women. Because, and here's my perfect example, and Sigma knows and seen this too. When two men and I'm going to say, of course I disagree with them because they're both misogynists, but two men got together on a show. It was Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. And of course, we don't personally like these guys, but let's just look outside the box and say, okay, it's two black men getting together, right? To maybe they'll come up with a solution for us in the community. Now it'll be misogynist, but maybe a solution just in case. See, I'm thinking way out of the box now, right? What did they do? What did they end up doing? Fighting with each other and beefing with each other. Two like-minded guys. These men, they both are misogynists. They both hate women, and they still could not agree or get along with each other. That's, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, man, and these are two guys that are deemed leaders in not only online, but in the community. These men are seen as being leaders, and they're falling apart. That's a lot of people think, oh yeah, you're just a Cynthia G fan. You're just a Cynthia G fan. That's why you think the way. No, what am I supposed to do when I see two so-called leaders go at each other's necks to the point where one is suing the other as we speak? So we have Anton going on Corey's show, right? Hopefully, and I'm saying, oh, I hate these dudes, but maybe they'll come up with a solution because they both claim to be community guys. Maybe they'll come up with something, let me take my emotions out of it. What do? Excuse my language, nigga shit. They do the last thing they needed to be doing, even for their own benefit. They could have collabed together and done some more red pill crap that I would have hated. But they were so toxic, they couldn't even do that. And that scares and concerns me because it's like, well, if these are these guys are claiming to be in control of their own emotions, businessmen, community leaders, and this is the result we got. What am I mean, as a man who's just a regular guy, what am I? And here's the funny thing: they both hate Russell Wilson, who's the normal guy, who's really supposed to be the guy. He's the one with for $250 million, not these dudes. But these men are more popular online than Russell is.
I think you're doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, DJ, by calling them out. I always like to speak up for the Black woman as a Black woman because we are not pack mules. We're still playing into this narrative. We got to save the community. We got to save the community. The missing part of the community has to show up first. You can't save a person who don't want to be saved. Black women are not the backup plan for a broken system. We're not the safety net for grown men who refuse to rise. We are not the pack mules of the community. We're carrying everything while being told it's our duty to do so. But being honest, Black women have always been showing up. We've been building families. We've been holding down households. We've been creating businesses. We've been leading movements. We're keeping the culture alive. So the question is not, why aren't Black women doing more? The real question is, why are they expected to do everything? Some of these dudes want women to heal them, feed them, fund them, fight for them, and then turn around and say it's our responsibility to fix the community. No. That's not leadership. That is dependence dressed up as expectation. And here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud. You cannot build strong men by removing the expectation that they be strong. You cannot talk about community while placing the burden on the very women they refuse to protect, respect, and partner with. Black women are not here to replace Black men. We are here to stand beside them. But standing beside someone requires that they actually stand up. This community doesn't need more sacrifice from Black women. It needs balance. It needs accountability. It needs partnership. It needs men who are willing to show up fully, not halfway, not conditionally, not when it's convenient, because we've already proven we as women can carry the weight. But the real question is, men, who's finally ready to carry it with us?
Yeah, that you said a lot of things that I said as well. Okay, so I'm not against what you said, and I never said it was women's responsibility to do so. I'm only saying that these things need to happen.
Right.
Okay, they need to happen, and we need to find a way for these things to happen. This is my dream. This is my wish to try to facilitate these things. So I'm in agreement with that. Okay, but there is one thing that I would like to say that I do believe that we are amiss. When you look in the Egyptian Asar are set in Heru, when you look at the pyramid and you look at their statues, you have the man standing there and he has his staff. He has a woman behind him, grounding him. When they wrote your religious books and things like that, they had the man, the father, the son, and they had already been dogging their women out, hating their women. They were already homosexual. They were already sleeping with children and things like that. So they just put a holy ghost in there and they took the woman out because it was the father, the woman, and the child. And that was the Trinity. Okay. And the world has been off ever since they took this woman out and just made it all totally just patriarchal and a man. But the woman did exist in there. If you notice, she's holding him at his waist and she's holding him in two different places. If you notice, if you go and look at it, she is the grounding factor of him. Okay. This is what we were based off of. And I believe before they came in and did this colonization, the woman, we came from basically matriarchal society before we were infected with patriarchy, which is why everything is a muck and a mess today. Not saying it's our responsibility, but I think that was our basis where we came from. Erykah Badu made this song. She said, if you want to go to heaven, lay up on my chest, okay? Lay up on my breast. That's where the birth of everything is. We have a lot of those humanity qualities and things like that that allow things to go forward and be birthed from, not just our womb, that are necessary for deep, insightful thought and moving forward and things like that. That's why we can do it. That's why we do it and they have it. Because they just more carnal than we are. We just gonna put it right there. Okay? It might not be our responsibility, but we can be a blueprint in the interactions with us. We are a necessary element. And that's just the way I see it. But I agree with you. It's not our responsibility. But we know it would be nice if we could bind together somewhere after a level has been created and we move. Like I said, we could be a force to be dealt with if we could ever get ourselves together. For me to dream for this, I don't think it's a crime.
I agree.
No, sorry, hold on, DJ. It's not a crime. Yolanda, oh my goodness. Listen, everything you just said, right? I mean, wow. Yes, we did. We were a matriarchal society, and I was wondering, like, this whole patriarchy thing that got out of control to where the people don't really understand what really happened, right? Yes, we were a matriarchal society. We went through the woman first. We were the portal to the world. She was the portal to everything. But it wasn't the way that I don't think people are really looking at it now, right? Because this is why through the Jewish community, your mother has to be Jewish for you to be Jewish, right? Like, and this is why even with the royal family in England, right, they still allow the oldest born woman to be the sovereign at the same time. Why is that? Because they mirrored it from us, like you said, in Egypt and Kemet back in the day. I didn't even think I would ever be saying that word Kemet on this channel, DJ. So thank you, Yolanda. Like, but she took it there. I'm like, wow, yeah, if you want to get into that, and that's really what it's all about. But that's why I never lose faith that we, as a people, not just here in America, but worldwide, once we understand who we are and what we are, and really, like you said, the American blacks are the ones that are at the forefront of all the blacks in the world, even the blacks that's in Africa, and they sitting on the fucking gold mine. But we still have more power and influence over the world than they did. Than they do. That's why we really up there. That's why them FBA people be going so hard about being FBA. They understand that. It's the culture. That's why they be fighting for that culture. They were some of the culture, because they know the whole world runs off of this shit too. We influence everything. They just sports and entertainment and art and fashion. We influence everything. The medicine, the sciences, the academics, everything. So yeah, all of that is important. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go that deep, DJ, but yeah, you talking about Haru and everything. That's what all the religions are based off of. I mean, I don't want to go hard like that, for this channel, but I understand.
No, but I'm glad that you did, DeAndre. Like I said, and see, but we taught to be so selfish here and think about self and our own porch and things like that. That's what white people are very selfish. They only think about their race, and you see how it integrates into us and us being here, where we don't think about community no more like we used to. We don't think about, see how we all talk about ourselves. That gets into us. We are all contaminated and we all have PTSD in our own right. You know what I mean? And we don't even recognize it. And this is sad. We'll be trapped in it if we don't learn how to hold hands and come back together and recenter ourselves and find ourselves where we were and what we're supposed to be. We won't make it back. Some people ain't meant to make it back. Just like was said on this panel. Some people, I guess, ain't meant to make it back.
No, you're right. And what we're doing now, we were talking about this earlier, right? About the panel. This is just us on this panel, right? This is not just happening with us. I've been on DJ following this channel for 3 years now for many different reasons. One of the biggest reasons is I just like to hear a woman's perspective of this whole situation, right? But beyond that is that we're having this conversation all over the country, all over the world, within our community, all over the place. We see a lot of it online because everybody gets to see it, especially if it's in your algorithm, Like a lot of us, this ain't the only channel that we done been on where we seen this the kind of content or whatever, you know, like, and that's a good thing. It's all over the place. I do think that it's growing and more people are seeing it because it's things that are happening. Like even this, I know it's not the same thing, right? But this situation is going on with the rapper boy Pooh Shiesty robbing the dude Gucci, right? It's people who talking all this nonsense back and forth. But more people's on the side of this dude is a grown ass man, Gucci man, who got a family, children. He's making legitimate millions of dollars. Of course he gonna cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Like if these people really came in and threatened his life over a legitimate contract, like the fact that you still talking all this ignorant nigga shit in between lets you know, like, one, you on some trash, you don't care about the community, but there's more people who are against that kind of stuff now. Like, and we see it online because people are, you know, obviously more open online than they are in person, but that swells over to being outside, you know. So I think that we are doing work doing this. I mean, it's fun shit that we do is funny, but then having these conversations that we really don't want to have are the work.
I'm gonna get on DJ now because 3.5 hours, man. Now you tripping.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna zone out of here because I got church in the morning, and I just leave my final word for the women. Women, don't confuse your strength with his refusal to stand. It takes a man to raise a man. You were built to build with someone, not to carry someone who won't walk. A good man appreciates support. A stagnant man expects it. Learn the difference before you invest your time and energy. Peace.
Everybody, I really appreciate your input and conversation. Yolandos, why don't you do you have any last words for tonight? And then we'll go to Deontay, and I'm gonna hit that music.
I would just like to say that I do believe it's unity and strength. Yeah, I mean, it's strength and unity. And I believe we need each other. We need each other. We're not going to get out of this conundrum with our division. We need each other. And we need to realize that we need to heal our dysfunctions and we need to come together. And I love every last one of you. And I wish the best for all of us. Okay, may we all have a good night.
Yolandos, that was beautiful. I think if there was some way that we could convince those that are lagging, I'm going to put it that way, those that are lagging to just do a little bit better, 15%, 20%, that would make a big difference just like that. It's just how do we get that message out? Maybe we can make a whole live stream just on bettering themselves. Maybe I'll do that. I'll make a live stream on maybe some small psychological things people can do just to make themselves less I guess depressed, because I think that's one of the main elements is that there's a lot of depression going on in our community. A lot of people have given up. I think we're seeing what we see in a lot of men and some women, but unfortunately more men, is that they've given up on competing against not only men in our own community, but in men in other communities, because we are great inventors. We are great, both men and women, by the way, are great inventors. We've made computer chips. We've made street lights. We made stuff, bread and butter stuff for America. We built a lot of things in America. Don't get me wrong, just because I roast Dusties all day that I don't see what our potential is. The problem is how do we close that gap? And we won't find out tonight because I'm about to go get something to eat. But we definitely need to come up with some sort of plan. And maybe I'll just have it. I'm just going to make a live stream called Planning for Tomorrow or Planning for a Better Community and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I think so too. It's anywhere we can start to spark to conversation, like I said, and plant the seeds. Plant the seeds and hope they fall on fertile ground. I'm always looking to be a planter of seeds. I have no control over where they land, but I have a responsibility to plant them. I'm not gonna hold them and let them just sit in my, in my bag. I'm going to try to plant them, and if they grow, then I'm successful.
Bars. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to hit that beat. But I have one
Deontay,
last
nice
thing.
being on the panel with you. I'm loving it, and I'm glad that somebody hears me. I just have to say that.
Thank you.
Oh no, it's all good. I've been on panel with you too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, the only last thing I got to say is this: is that ladies, look, at the same time of us trying to, do not feel any shame if you want to check out options elsewhere as well. I mean, come on. The thing is this. This is my theory on this, real quick. A lot of women have already put in the work in our community, but however, if you see or feel something for somebody, outside of community, and they're showing you love, and they're showing you really, they are showing you love. Don't be ashamed, because a lot of people don't know this, but everybody's loving what's going on with Megan and Clay. And they love it because they love the way Clay is loving on Megan. You should have some of the stuff he writes to Megan even got me, kind of like choked up. This man truly loves that woman. And he locked her up. He locked her up no time. They went out, had themselves eloped and everything. But don't get it wrong. I mean, the thing is this: Clay is very much, he is as non-black as he is black, and that's why it's kind of like a win-win for everybody. Because really, quite honestly, Megan is divesting out of the shit she was in before. But at the same time, we can still embrace Clay as a black man because he sees himself as a black man. His father is Bohemian, which is black, but it's not black. But he still loves black culture, so we see him as a black man. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, Yolanda, was who you gonna jump in?
No, I just said melanated.
Melanated bars. That's actually, Yolanda, I'm glad you said that because that is the most accurate description. You nailed it.
It's levels to this stuff. It's levels to it because we're dealing with what's her name that donated to all these Republican things, that was able to infiltrate us, and now she's with
Nikki?
showing her butt. No, with TLC. Chili.
Oh, Chili.
Chili. Yeah, she's melanated on a level, but she views herself as white. And a lot of them do this, our preferences, okay? These exoticals, they come in. See, that's another place where we're beginning to gatekeep now because we have been getting done wrong so much. Maybe that should be another show on another day. Because these exoticals come in, they enjoy our culture. They build their name up. Kim Kardashian, I don't know, but she kind of did. She's Italian or something. They're melanated on low levels. They come in and then they want to turn around. She done removed her BBL and now she want to just be white and date white people. But they build themselves amongst us. We fan them, we pay them, we get them paid, and then they want to turn tail and be white.
Right.
Okay. So that's, amongst that level. It's like that. Like I said, it's levels to that. And they have levels. White people have kind of made a chart. I think the Asian is the closest thing to them on the melanin chart. We, of course, at the bottom, they put us there because we have the most melanin. And the closest thing to them is the Asian, which is why you don't hear, most of the time, you don't hear ICE raids on them. I've spoken to a number of them. They don't have those ICE raids, but those Mexicans and things like that do. That's something that they call out a lot in other groups and things like that they target and go after. But the closest thing to them is the Asian. You don't see them pulling them out these stores and things like that and shutting down their business. They're not doing that. It's melanin levels.
Got it.
Isn't that something?
All right, everybody.
This thing is big. It's huge. It's huge, y'all. We fighting a lot of things. You know, if you want to listen to King James, we fight against, not against flesh and blood, but wickedness, principalities, okay, and things in high places. Our battle is huge, and we don't need to be fighting ourselves right now. We need to squash this, and that's my point. But anyway, I've said my point like 4 times, so we can hit the beat.
Got it. Well, I will do something on that though. On maybe the melanated live stream, we'll go through all the different things. Yeah, my mom is an exotical, so but she goes hard for civil rights. Let's put it that way. That's what I can say. So, but we'll talk more about it later.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming out here, chatting in the chat and talking on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hit the beat. Here we go.
Hey, Torch. And friends.
I'd like to shout out everybody in the chat. Fritz on stage. Shout out to Why Seeking Knowledge, Ghost, Deontay, Kevin. In the chat, we have New Dawn for you. Sigma showed up, Mortal Sigma. Wisdom ain't cheap. Definitely check out her channel. It's popping. Let's just put it that way.
About to go down.
Shout out to Miss Alto.
It's about to go down. Yeah. Laughter and truth, a gentle sound. Hearts open wide when the love goes round. Yeah. DJ Torch and friends.
Kevin.
It's about to go.
Boy, in the house. Yes. And a shout out to everybody on the replay game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming through.